Greer, third place, 526. And Mr. Korn himself, 644. But again, that is an insane distance for an aircraft that large. 6 seats in that thing. I wonder if that, you said he is a painter by trade, an automotive painter, so I bet the paint's thin and light. But that can be a thing in an aircraft. Sometimes you add a lot of weight with a fancy paint job.
Well, I'll tell you what, when he was explaining that paint job and how much that paint costs, it's a very impressive feat. Now, you'll notice a lot of these guys have their flaps set on their takeoff roll, and some of them use a different method. Now, if you watch Aaron, he has no flaps in right now. He'll get that plane because he wants to fly clean. So he'll keep a little amount of flaps, but as soon as he gets some speed, he'll reach down and rip up on those manual flaps and pull back on his yoke at the same time, try to get that big beast off the ground. All right, watch those flaps. Down, and he's up.
Oh, having
little
trouble
drop.
getting speed. There we go. So he's not going to be too pleased with that. He was kind of skipping along there. So to expand on what, Colin, what you were saying, some of these heavy touring and light touring aircraft have electric flaps. Those pilots are at a little bit of a disadvantage during the takeoff section because they can't dump flaps for a little burst of lift to pop into the air.
Right, well, and then it also hinders them a little bit on the landing because a lot of these guys, as soon as they're a couple feet over the ground, they'll just drop their flaps, slam that thing down and on the brakes. And what that does is eliminates the lift. Grabs the flaps, pulls back, beautiful takeoff, beautiful takeoff.
He's going to be super pleased with that. You can see he's nursing the flaps back out.
All right, Bill, you got your work cut out for you, buddy. Bill saw that last takeoff, and right now what's going through his head is, I got to get this guy. Revs up that engine. Gets the go-ahead. Grabs his flaps, pulls back. Nice takeoff, Bill. Keep it up.
He's keeping it off. Nice.
Riding that
coming
ground
for you,
effect there.
Andrew. Bill does have a lot of ground to make up to beat Andrew right now. He's got almost 100 feet separating him between Andrew. So he's going to have to really, really bring it home. Let's look at that takeoff distance. He actually beat Andrew Patry there by 3 feet on the takeoff. So he's got a, like 97 more feet shorter on the landing to get into first place.
All right, so here we go. This is the heavy touring's last run.
We should say phase 1 of heavy touring. We have two heats.
That's right, Ryan. Keep it up.
Holding it
Drop
off.
it. Nice landing.
So just imagine doing that, but then instead of on our race course today, there's a cliff before the line and a mountain at the end of the runway. That's basically what we're simulating today. Low and to your left. Aaron Greer.
I tell you, Aaron flies that plane all over the country. He's competed in Nebraska. He's competed in Arkansas. He's competed in Washington. That young man flies his airplane. Okay, we had to turn a plane around. We had a brake caliper failure. All right, we got him off the runway. We had a brake failure is what happened. Okay, while we sort this thing out, we'll move some planes around. Anything happens, obviously, the first and foremost thing is pilot safety. So we circle them around out there, put them in a pattern, put them in a holding pattern. We'll taxi the airplanes off. We'll find out what the heck's going on, and we'll get back at it.
Meanwhile, folks, if you have a Jeep Liberty with license plate Charlie Victor 5 Delta 115, that's Charlie Victor 5 Delta 115.
If that is your Jeep Liberty, we are going to raffle it in about 15 minutes because it's parked wrong. Is that it?
That's right. Yeah, I actually could use a Jeep, so maybe I'll take it. All jokes aside, we'd love it if you could please move the aircraft, move the Jeep into the correct parking spot for us. It's currently not on approved airport property. Okay, here comes Andrew Patry. Off on final there to your left. He had to do a little bit of 360ing, so he's got to get his head back in the game because that flow was interrupted by the brake failure over there. But he's on his way in now.
You know what's nice, Ryan, is you heard them on the radio calling, I've got a brake malfunction, and all of his buddies right away, is everything okay? They jump in a pattern. We'll circle around out here, just make sure everything's okay.
Absolutely, definitely a team
Andrew.
sport. Here he
Put
comes.
it down.
Nice,
Nice
that's good.
landing.
I'm going to guess that unofficially that's going to seal it up. We've got Bill coming up next on his heels. But Bill has a lot of ground to cover, or not cover, I guess, to get into first place from where he is in second right now. That last landing, 248 for Patry, so that is longer than that's his longest landing yet. That's not going to change his score at all, so we'll see what happens to Bill.
All right, Bill.
Oh, well.
If this was baseball, we would say just a bit outside. He scratched on that one.
Okay, so there we go. Looks like we got someone else coming in on the hard surface. Looks like
He's
a
holding
180.
it off. He's holding it off. We can all judge.
Nice.
We can all judge the locals landing here. So
hold up your scorecards, folks. That was a very smooth landing. A little bit different than what we're trying to do here on the competition runway. Everybody wave, cheer. There's Andrew Patry. Bill Gilstrap, the other two aircraft taxied on the hard surface to keep us clear here. Nice job, guys. So.
Nice runs, fellas.
Now, it's not over for heavy touring. Andrew Patry, first place. Bill Gilstrap, second place, 432. Greer, 505. Korn, 608. But guess what, folks? We have a second heat. And in this second heat, you're going to see a Helio Courier. You're going to see a couple Cessna 180s and a 185. Now, these aircraft, tail draggers, little different. You're going to see some exciting stuff here. Here comes the Helio Courier taxiing up to the line.
I love the sound of this airplane when he wraps it up and gets going. It's such a smooth-looking airplane.
And while he comes up to the line, let's talk about one of our sponsors. Let's talk about our headline sponsor. You're going to see their aircraft later today in the Bush class. Aviat Aircraft, where luxury aircraft and backcountry meet, you will find Aviat Husky. Many manufacturers claim to have a large mission profile, but only Husky can deliver. Semi-Fowler flaps, Husky allows for shorter takeoffs and landings to get you in and out of the backcountry in the most efficient way possible. Come take a look at America's favorite tail dragger before you leave today. The Aviat Husky is faster, it's stronger, and it's more.
Hey, I'm Chad, and I am legend. So once I decided I wanted to buy a bush plane, a Super Cub, before I began my research, I had never even heard of Legend Aircraft. I had heard of a couple different manufacturers, and that's really what I started with when I started researching. It was only through doing different Google searches and getting on the forums and hearing about this Legend brand that I began to really research them. And what I know today is Legend Aircraft is the best kept secret in aviation. It doesn't appear to me that they spend their money on a lot of marketing and advertising. They spend that money on research and development and into building a great product. Another factor for me, aside from the build quality differences, the willingness to customize, the customer service, their willingness to sit down and almost do a kind of a ground up one-off creation. On top of that was the other manufacturer that I was looking at. If I were to spec out this plane as close as they could get, I was getting less value, a less rugged, less sturdy, not as well built airplane, and an airplane that ultimately at the end of the day was not exactly what I wanted. That plane spec'd out at about $100,000 more than the Legend Aircraft version. And what I ended up with here with the AmeriCub was exactly what I wanted out of a bush plane and out of a Super Cub. And Legend Aircraft was willing to build that for me.
Again, everyone, welcome to National STOL, sponsored by Husky Aviat Aircraft. We're here at Lonestar STOL in beautiful Gainesville, Texas, on a beautiful, bright, sunny, cloudless day. I'm Ryan Dombrowski here with my friend Colin Kniva, and we're going to bring you the second heat of heavy touring right now.
You know, Ryan, the first plane up, like you said, we got the Helio Courier, and it's old number one. And the reason that's old number one, that's the first Helio Courier off the line for that year.
So not only do we have a competitive aircraft, a almost mythical backcountry aircraft, we also have a historic aircraft here in front of us today.
I mean, look at the size of that airplane compared to the last group of heavy touring. He's just been given clearance. He's going to wind that puppy up. He's holding the brakes tight.
Got those slats on the front of the wing. Huge, huge flaps.
This plane is flown by Charlie Ross. He's out of Cross Plains, Texas. So another Texas guy. I'll tell you what, last year during the Gainesville STOL, the rain was pouring, the wind was whipping. Our good friend John Jughead Council was out here wearing rain suits, announcing. John, I'm glad we took the helm this year, buddy, because you really fought the good fight last year. All right, next one we got is Don Mickey. He's flying a 1953 Cessna 180. All right, Don, let that puppy eat.
Tail up, down, and he's off. I saw Don just absolutely beating up the pattern last night and during the practice session. You talked about this a little bit with him yesterday. Something going on with his mixture due to where he hails from.
Yeah, so his home strip is at 5,400 feet, and he's just having a tough time because his mixture isn't set right. So he winds that thing up, gets everything set right, actually added a little bit of carb heat, took the carb heat out and then takes off. So he's got a lot of stuff going on in that cockpit.
So there goes Brian Rose, a.k.a. La Rosa, on Instagram. One of the Fat Tire Cowboys. We also had in heavy touring yesterday, we had Kerry Franks in a 180. He unfortunately had a nose-over prop strike yesterday, so unable to compete today, thinning out the field a little bit. Brian, again, part of the Fat Tire Cowboys. If you've seen him on the interwebs, that's him. Okay, so let's talk about our takeoffs for this first group.
Before we do that, Ryan, I'd like to say something.
You can say whatever you want.
These guys are out here competing, and I'll tell you, Husky Aviat's been a great sponsor. These guys aren't racing for – they're racing for two things. They're racing for bragging rights and these beautiful gold belt buckles, and these are the things that we wear to these events, and we nudge our friends and say, I got the buckle, where's yours? So it's not about racing for the prize money. It's about racing for the bragging rights, competing for these buckles, and showing them off tonight at the around the campfire.
Absolutely.
All right, here he comes hanging this thing in.
Okay.
We got Charlie working those big wings. Look how big those flaps are. And if you look, the flaps are about 3 or 4 times the size of those ailerons. That's a massive wing holding that plane up.
Oh, he's got to hold it off.
Get it up, get it up.
He's got to hold it off.
Oh, no.
Did he or did he not? He maybe held it off. We'll have to see what they say.
Well, Charlie, I don't know if you can hear me or not, but the object is to cross the line before we touch down. But you'll get it next time, buddy.
We mentioned yesterday during the qualifying that look at the wheels on that. They're very reasonably sized, and that's how it was done back then before giant Busch tires.
Yeah, those were the true Busch pilots when they're landing those things on rocks and riverbeds, and they got those small shoes on.
Don Mickey.
He's got a massive, beautiful plane, but when he pulls up to the gas pump, some of these younger guys with these big tires kind of flex a little bit.
Don Mickey in the 1953 Cessna 180. He's good. Heavy on the brakes. Stick fullback. Can't let that tail pop up too much. He's got it stopped. He wants to get on the board. He was, I think, the only heavy touring class plane practicing last night. Getting some coaching, by the way, from Clayton Stansel, who you'll see in the light touring class in a little bit. Beautiful carbon cub off in the distance there.
All right, we have Brian Rose on final here. Now, after Brian lands, we're actually going to do a quick FOD walk, which means foreign object damage. Come on, Brian, hold it up.
Good.
Nice landing. Beautiful.
Stick full back. Fat Tire Cowboys wanted to flex on everybody since we're in their home state. Brian wants to bring something home, especially for his buddy Kerry, who can't compete today.
So the runway's closed right now, Ryan. What we're going to do is get everybody gathered up over there and walk the runway real quick. What we're looking for is not a hidden treasure. We're looking for a set of brake pads that fell off of one of the aircraft.
So you'll see all the judges walking around looking for stuff, trying to make sure that the grass field is clear. Meanwhile, make sure you wave and say hi and hoot and holler for these second heat of heavy touring.
Look at that beautiful courier coming by.
Okay, we're going to give you an updated standings while we do this FOD inspection. Andrew Patry still in first place with 3:54. Gilstrap 4:32. Don Mickey, that practice is paying off, third place, 4:61. Greer 5:06 in fourth place. Brian Rose 600 feet, and only 8 feet behind him in the 2:05 is Brandon Korn. It's also a great time to talk about one of our sponsors. Let's talk about Zimmerer Kubota. Zimmerer Kubota provided the tractor. We'd like to thank them for providing that tractor to mow the runway out for today's competition, as well as other support vehicles. Go check out Zimmerer Kubota. They're passionately committed to providing their customers with professionalism, quality, and innovation.
Don, do me a favor and turn that thing a little bit to the right so I can get some cool air blowing at me.
Yeah,
Thank
there you go.
Sir.
Let's dry us off here. Already kind of sweaty.
The cool Texas breeze brought to you by these beautiful tail-dragging airplanes.
Since we got one of the Fat Tire Cowboys getting ready to go, let's talk about them. They're also one of our sponsors. We appreciate that. Fat Tire Cowboy is an aviation adventure brand steeped in cowboy lore. Each member has a deep connection to aviation, Texas, and the farming and ranching operations that happen here. Fat Tire Cowboys focus on spreading the passion for aviation, the love of God, and a life lived well. Well, we're going to see if they can do a life lived well in terms of competition today. Brian Rose currently in 5th place with 600 feet, and he's got a couple other guys in the light touring class as well.
We didn't find any brake pads out on the runway, so we're hoping they show up somewhere. All right,
sure
Charlie. You got the first run jitters out of you. That's always the hardest one, is the first one.
Charlie Ross in the Helio Courier. Ole number 1. Ailerons are only 2 rib banks wide on that aircraft, and it's capable of controlled STOL flight at about 30 miles an hour. That's slow. I mean, that's
slow.
that, like you're going to see later, the Legend Cubs, the mother of all Cubs, those are also doing about 30 miles an hour. The difference that this thing is huge compared to them. So that's why the Helio Courier is so legendary in the STOL community. There's even a modern experimental aircraft, the Rands Courier, named in homage to this aircraft. Charlie Ross.
I was talking to Don last night, and I said, man, all you must do is polish that plane. He said, nope, haven't polished it in about a year. I can't believe how sweet that plane looks.
I don't know if you can
Shines
get away
like
with
a
that in
diamond.
Wisconsin. I don't think you'd be able to get away with not polishing it in Wisconsin.
Well, I'm sure he keeps it, well, it's nice dry air in Albuquerque. That's where he's from. That's where he flies out of. All right, so we got Brian Rose back up on the line. Like I said yesterday, his buddy had a little accident, nosed over his plane. Last night they tore it down, put a new prop on it, and they flew it home. Listen to this 185 rip when he gets in the throttle. Let that big dog eat.
There he goes. Very humble, that man. He said to me on Wednesday, he said to me, oh, I don't know if I'll really be competitive. You know, I'm not like these other guys, but like, look at what he's doing. Not messing around. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the standings again going in. Right now, the new heat has added Mr. Mickey in third place, and Brian Rose at 600 in fifth place.
Okay, we got that Helio Courier on base leg. About to turn final, get set up. This is, let's see, Ryan, is this their last run on this one?
This will be their second run.
This is their second run. Okay, so the pressure's not quite on yet. They can relax.
I don't know about, like, relax.
Well, you watch how graceful this Helio is on approach. I don't know if he's relaxed, but it's sure making me relaxed.
Just absolutely hovering in there. It's a 3,000-pound gross weight aircraft. So loaded up, 3,000 pounds of metal, gas, people, whatever.
Well, he's got to get his moose out of there.
Oh!
Okay, Don. I'm sorry. Charlie, Mr. Ross on that one scratched. So now the pressure's on him. We better give him an extra loud clapping when he taxis by us. Let him know we got his back. Yesterday we had a little more gusty winds blowing down the runway, so they were able to float their planes in a little bit better, keep that nose-high attitude.
That's a really good point. So that's something that we should talk about is STOL pilots in particular love a little extra wind. You fly. You're going to be flying later today.
Oh.
As you read the winds here, wishing for more?
Well, here's what's working against us today. We got a little bit of light winds, but we have a high density altitude.
Oh, another scratch.
Oh. Come on, Don. Came all the way from, well, Albuquerque's not that bad of a flight. I flew that the day before yesterday, and I'll tell you what, it was a beautiful flight. But you get about 75 miles east of Albuquerque, and that terrain drops off. I know how he feels about that density altitude on the performance of his plane.
So far, no completed landings, or successfully completed. I guess they did land, but no one on the scoreboard in this round two. And actually, as a thing I'd like to point out, that's the second scratch for Charlie today. So maybe not even on the board if he doesn't pull it together, maybe do something a little more conservatively. Again, it is the finals, so and heavy touring is a thick pack.
Yeah, today's the day when you're going to see everybody go all out.
Brian Rose on short final to your left. Love those flaps all the way down.
Hanging it from the prop. Keep it up.
Okay.
Ooh, that's going for review, but that looks like he was safe.
And you got to wonder if, obviously, we don't have that additional push, stopping power of the wind like we did yesterday. Winds were a little bit heavier yesterday. You also got to wonder with the Fat Tar Cowboys guys in particular are they a little bit more worried today based on what happened yesterday with their buddy going nose over? Maybe not as aggressive of braking today. We don't have as much wind to help them keep the tail down. Beautiful Helio Courier coming by. Getting some updated scores. Nothing has changed from the standings between this round and last round for heavy touring. Of note, though, we do have some new scores. Brian Rose improved his score by about 26 feet.
Give them a wave, give them a clap. Part of the fun of this is the parade when they're coming by. It's fun to watch these guys go out there and demonstrate awesome piloting skills, but it's also fun when you get this close to such amazing looking airplanes. The other thing I like about it, Ryan, is we get a little bit of cool breeze when they come by.
Whoa, look at that bird riding on the wing of that airplane.
Well, not only did we see some airplanes doing STOL, but We had a bird
He's looking
doing some
around
stole.
for it. He's like, where is it? It's on the right wing. What is it, a pigeon?
I think that's a token of great luck.
He's going to win it. Look at the bird just riding along there. You don't see that every day, folks.
Right now, that bird's thinking, I made a wrong turn at Albuquerque. He's going to ride back with Don.
Okay, there he goes. Bird, and the bird is safe.
Okay, now, hold on. Did anybody get a measurement on that takeoff?
I got to tell you, I was bracing for tragedy there because it's just the other direction, and you've got a heavy spinning prop.
Right? Yeah. Well, imagine the wash that was on that. Okay, so the bird's circling around again, wondering where the heck's my ride?
He's gonna get back on the plane in a minute. Charlie Ross at the line, ready for round 3, hoping to get one on the board here.
Charlie, the pressure's on, buddy. I don't know if you can hear me in there, but the pressure is on. I know you're in there sweating through that T-shirt. Got our line judges all ready to go. Waiting on our air boss to give us a signal. Signal's been given. Don revs up that engine.
Getting that tail off the ground. And he's off.
Now, I noticed one thing with that Courier. He's not getting that nose forward and slamming that tail, and I think the reason is because it's such a large, long airplane with a large wing. He just gets that thing into a nose-high attitude and climbs right the heck out of here.
All right, the bird isn't going to be able to help him now. Here's Don Mickey.
Don did get some luck from a bird. Let's see if he listened to the pointers. Revs it up, gets his engine right, pulling a little carb heat, says, okay, let's go.
Dumping those flaps.
And
he's off.
He got out of here like he was late for supper.
Again, Clayton Stansel was giving him some pointers last night. You're going to see Clayton in light touring. Those light touring aircraft getting ready to go, too. Here's Brian Rose, La Rosa. Tail's already up. There he's off.
Man, when Brian gives that plane the throttle, I tell you what, it's such a bark back here. Had people plugging their ears.
So let's talk a little bit about his takeoffs. They've been getting progressively better and better for Brian. First round, 278 feet. Second round, 274. And round 3, 238. So he's improving every round, which is exactly what we like to see. We've got a little bit of time here. Want to talk about another one of our sponsors. Let's talk about Boomerang Air. Boomerang Air is a full-service aviation brokerage company that can help with your buying or selling needs. They're so privileged to be a certified Cub Crafters sales center. Say that 3 times fast for Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Louisiana. As they say at Boomerang Air, bam,
bam,
bam. Give me one more.
Bam.
Nice.
It's got to hit hard. It's got to hit hard. All right, this isn't one of our competitors, but we get to judge yet another landing. If I was flying general aviation in here today, I think I would really be hanging on tight, because the last thing you want is a bunch of people looking bounce, 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 bounce.
Or little bounces, though. And he's on the hard surface. And also, can I just say, look at that pretty shade of red.
Beautiful airplane. And you know what? But we can sit over here and judge. It's okay. Here we go.
Let's see if he can get on the board this time in the Helio.
All right, Charlie.
Coming in higher this time.
Hold that puppy off the ground. Hold
no.
Oh, Charlie.
Charlie was leaving it all on the table today, and you saw the lift just kind of run out there at the end, and he just dropped in that last couple feet. One thing we should talk about, Colin, is also in addition to the class prizes today that everyone's competing for, there are also, this wraps up the National Series this year, so there's the National Championship. Winner will be crowned this year, as well as there is another prize which Charlie unfortunately is not eligible for because he's scratched, which is the most consistent prize. I don't know if you want to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, the most consistent prize, it goes to the pilot of our group that doesn't scratch, stays consistent throughout the day. You absolutely can't have any flaws in your flying, so that's a hard-earned trophy.
Oh, he's already got the tail drag. Oh, okay.
Oh.
In case you're wondering, you can drag that tail wheel in over the line. It's all about the main gears. So you'll see some competitors, especially on days with heavier wind, they'll get that tail wheel down before the line and kind of use it to build up that extra drag to slow them down and get the main wheels down right after the line. Brian Rose, high and to your left, turning base to final now, runway 18 here at Gainesville Municipal Airport. The runway here, our runway that we're using today, 450 feet long. Think about the last time, if you're a pilot out in the audience there or watching at home, think about the last time you landed in less than 450 feet. You do it all the time, Colin.
Well, I try to. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But that is one of my favorite styles of flying, is the backcountry and the bush flying. All right, Brian. He doesn't know this, but his buddies are both scratched. All he's got to do is hang this thing up in the air. Get that tail down, get that nose high attitude. Don't chop the power too soon.
Another scratch.
Doggone it.
Scratch-erific.
These guys are putting it all on. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so that was our final run of the heavy touring class. So as they tour by, we'd like to see you guys stand up, give a big yell, clap your hands, tell them how much you appreciate their piloting skills.
Even if they were a little itchy this round and had to scratch it. See what I did there? That's a dad joke if I ever made one. Let's talk about the unofficial results, unverified results for heavy touring here at Husky National STOL, Lonestar STOL. Right now we've got Andrew Patry, first place, 354. Bill Gilstrap, 432. Mickey on the board in third place, 461. Aaron Greer, 506. Brian Rose, fifth place with 574. And Brandon Korn in that epically large 205 with 608 feet. And now we've got the light touring class coming up to the line. We're going to get them launched in just a minute. We'll be right back from Gainesville, Texas.
Yeah, I got that right turn. We're good.
Let's meet up at the compound group up.
At 10-4. Yeah, for sure, dog. Good, little driver. Straight on through.
Welcome back to Lonestar STOL Husky National STOL competition here in Gainesville, Texas. We are just getting started. Heavy touring is finished. We're moving on to light touring here, runway 18, Gainesville Municipal Airport. I'm Ryan Dombrowski with my friend Colin Kniva. You notice on his shirt, Old Green Plains, kind of a celebrity standing next to me right now.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but my family are big fans. So our first contestant in light touring, I got a great story about this man, is Jeff Pohl from Malacca, Minnesota. Jeff and I just got done traveling across the country. We started off in, I met him in Cheyenne, Wyoming. We flew over to Reno. We both raced in the Reno Air Races. Made our way down through the southwest part of the United States, through Phoenix, Sedona, Albuquerque, Ruidoso. Ended up here. I've been traveling with him for about 3 weeks now. When you're traveling around, you get on a frequency called Fingers, and you're just talking privately. And Jeff was telling me a story growing up. His grandfather's name was Richard, but his dad called his grandfather Dick. So Jeff didn't ever know what to call him. So he said, I used to tell my grandfather, open the door for me, Richard, but don't shut it on me, Dick. It was. I started laughing. I think I laughed for about 50 miles during that one. Okay. Anyway, everybody give Jeff a big wave in the Dirty Bird.
So while Dirty Bird's getting ready to go there, let me give you the scores coming into today's finals from yesterday's qualifying. Jeff Pohl, you see him right here in front in Dirty Bird, 170 Bravo model, 283 feet. Kenny Monger nipping at his heels in a 172 with 299 feet. Trevor Smith in a Cessna 150 Aerobat. Don't see many of those in National STOL. That's a Cessna 150 that can go upside down, 365 feet. Clayton Stansel, 4th place, 386. Parker Sloane, Cessna 172 Foxtrot model, 416 feet. And Crandall Eldridge in a Stinson 108, first ever in National STOL history with 523. I think if you were listening to those numbers, Colin, you noticed that the competition is tight in light touring, and it's anyone's race today.
Well, man, you should have heard these two bantering at each other last night at the campfire. So today should be pretty interesting because they're laying it all on the line. They know only a few feet separates them. Now Jeff's going to wrap this thing up. Get that tail wheel up, nose down, grabs his flaps, rips it back off the ground. See ya. All right, so our next one, Clayton. I got to tell you a funny story about Clayton. He came up to me yesterday. My sheet wasn't updated, so his name was blank. And so I said, some dude flying a really sweet airplane. And well, his wife called him and said, hey, you're more than some dude. You're my husband, Clayton. So my friend Clayton came up and tugged me on the screen and said, or on the shirt sleeve and said, I'm more than some dude. Here we go.
First takeoff for Jeff Pohl came in at 169. Clayton's off early as well. I'm going to call that sub 250.
Clayton's from Belen, New Mexico, and I'll tell you, I stopped there to get fuel and talk about a friendly FBO. It felt like I went back about 30 years because a guy comes out with a ladder, starts filling my plane, asked if I needed anything. Boy, it was great customer service.
You even got a foot rub, back massage, the whole thing.
Well, I didn't get that or I wouldn't have left. All right, so here we have a low-wing Piper flown by Jeff Abrams. Now, Jeff Abrams, his day job is a UPS pilot. He flies our packages to and from, and then he comes out here in a low-wing Piper and competes in a STOL event. Now, I want you to watch him when he comes around and lands. Watch that suspension go to work. He just rams on those brakes.
You would not see a lot of Cherokees in STOL normally, but it's a really fun thing to see them because it just proves that all these aircraft, that any of these light touring airplanes, a lot of you have maybe learned to fly in them or own one at home. These are really attainable aircraft. If he can do that in a Cherokee, imagine what you could do at home.
All right, Crandall, get that Stinson off the ground, buddy.
Such a beautiful aircraft. I went and kind of poked around it last night. I think you were right. I think it is kind of more purple, and there's also a green stripe on it that I didn't notice from afar. Such a beautiful, beautiful airplane. Stinson 108, kind of another one of those classic 4-seat tail draggers.
Yeah, I still have an ongoing debate with him, and I don't know if it's me that's colorblind or Crandall, but he swears up and down that plane is navy blue and yellow. I'll let the crowd be the judge when it taxis by, but it might be like that internet dress thing where some people see white and some people see blue.
So we'll get some votes from the crowd when it comes back around. Speaking of coming back around, look to the left. It's Jeff Pohl. Short final for Jeff Pohl now. He is the one to beat first place coming into today for the finals.
Jeff Pohl went up to Valdez. Oh, nice
that
landing.
was a close
Jeff,
one.
get on those brakes, buddy. Get on those brakes.
Keeping that tail super high, heavy on the brakes. Very close on the line. What do we think of the crowd? Was that a scratch? Say thumbs down for a scratch, thumbs up for it was good.
Thumbs up. All right, I don't care what the booth said. The crowd has voted.
Looking at the replay right now.
The crowd says it's good. It's good. Good job, Jeff. Jeff went up to Valdez a couple years ago, and those guys didn't exactly welcome with open arms. They said, what do you Flatlanders know from Minnesota about STOL? Well, then he proceeded to take second place. He showed him a thing or two. Here we go. Let's get this thing stopped, Clayton.
Clayton.
Got that extended exhaust to keep those fumes and the oil and the lead off of his belly.
And that's actually a Cessna 172 that's been converted to a tail dragger, which is really, really interesting, exciting to see. Look.
It's awesome. Okay, here comes our low wing. Jeff Abrams, the UPS pilot, coming in here like he's delivering some Amazon packages, not scratching.
He's going to deliver a great landing.
Getting those brakes heated up. That suspension just puts on overtime, man. Do you see that stuff just working?
Totally, and I think you said it too. His approach is always so stable. So stable on the approach. It's like he's flying at work just with something smaller. High and to your left is the Stinson. Normally powered by a Franklin engine back in the day. A lot of them have been converted to, I believe, Lycomings. Is what the STC is for. Hope I'm right, or the internet
Crandall,
will be.
Keep it up.
He did. Now he's got a little bit of float to contend with, though, but still on the board.
Stay safe, buddy. Keep that tail down. Nice work. Nice work.
Okay, so right now, looking at the standings, a pretty wow. Look at that, 172. Clayton Stansel's 172. 248-foot takeoff and a 248-foot landing.
All right, give it up for this light touring class. Here comes Dirty Bird. Here comes Dirty Bird, flown by Jeff Pohl. Here comes Clayton in that 172 conversion to a tail wheel. Jeff Abrams in that low wing Piper. Fly it like you stole it, buddy.
Love
And
that
last
vintage
but
paint
certainly
job on
not
that
least,
thing.
let's take a vote, crowd. Is this Stinson, is that purple or blue?
So let's say thumbs up blue, thumbs down purple. I see some thumbs up. Everyone, most people don't care, but a lot of thumbs ups.
Thumbs up, so they do think, it's blue. Okay, so I am colorblind. Add one more ding to my resume.
All right, Jeff Pohl off into the distance, tail
Pops
up,
that tail up.
dumping those flaps. Very good takeoff there. I'm going to give you the standings real quick. Jeff Pohl, first place, 360. Clayton Stansel, second place, 496. Abrams, third place, 712. And Eldridge in the Stinson with 780 feet. But everyone is on the board here at the finals for light touring. Light touring, by the way, if you're wondering what the rule book says, that's aircraft with gross weights between 2,301 and 2,499 pounds. Here's Clayton, heavy on the throttle.
Come on, Clayton. Grabs those flaps and rips it off the runway. There you go, buddy. Nice climb out.
Clayton's such a great competitor. See, we felt bad about not getting his name right yesterday, and so now we're being super nice on the mic to him. But he deserves it. He's just a really, really good dude.
Here we got Jeff Abrams up with the 8040 Whiskey, low wing Piper.
And flaps and drop. Oh, it's hard to get those things off the ground sometimes. I remember that. I did a little bit of training in a Cherokee, and I got to say, there's 2 Cherokees in the competition today, and they both look a lot nicer than the one I trained in.
Yeah, these guys definitely care for their airplanes and enjoy their craft. They're masters of what they do. Here comes this beautiful Stinson.
And folks, if you need to beat the heat here in Texas, we've got some waters and sodas for sale at the merchandise tent by the broadcast RV. If you need to beat the heat, get some water in your system. Stay hydrated, please. Stay out of the sun. I got to tell you, I'm from Wisconsin, and whoo, you guys. I mean, it gets hot in Wisconsin, but I haven't been in Texas in a while.
Gainesville definitely turned up the heat for us today, buddy. I tell you what. Yesterday we had a nice breeze. It was a little bit cooler. Today it's really warm. Coming across, we have my dear friend and fellow racer, Sarah Henry, the hardest working woman behind a camera. She has an orange and green vest on, but you won't see her because she's moving around. Oh, Jeff.
Oh, Jeff. I'm guessing that was a scratch. We'll go to replay on that and see. I believe it was before the line. You saw that too, I think.
Definite scratch for Jeff. We'll give him a little shin kicking when he comes by.
You know, I got to say, Jeff, ever the competitor, even giving the air bosses some lip today at the pilot meeting, saying, hey, I'm going to do my job. You guys do yours. And I was like, ooh, Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff isn't afraid to voice his opinion, that's for sure. Okay, so Clayton, he doesn't know that Jeff's scratched. All he's got to do is keep that nose high, keep those down. All right, you can tell everybody's going for broke today. But you know, I'll be competing in a couple classes ahead from here, and it's nice to watch these guys because this air isn't giving much lift. So I think these guys are just prejudging their touchdown a little bit.
That's right, and everyone did the strategic thing first round. Got a score in the books. Now it's time to get a little more competitive. And yes, we have nil wind, maybe even a slight minimal tailwind based on the breeze from the flags right now. Not ideal for super short landings.
All right, Jeff, keep that Piper in the air. Chop it, drop it, get on the brakes. Boy, what a great day for some STOL competition. You guys are getting to watch the best in the business. You're getting to see the coolest planes, the most qualified pilots. These guys are from all over our great country. I was at an event in Brainerd, Minnesota, a national STOL event. They had a competitor from South Africa. He said they don't have STOL in South Africa. And I asked him why, and he said there's too many cheetahs. Nobody's cheating out here today.
Good one. That was a good one. Oh. Snug up on me there in the Stinson. That's another, I believe that was another scratch. So we may have, literally that round, everybody scratched. So everyone was on the board first round. Second round here, everyone scratched. So now it's only up to, we have a few more light touring. We have another heat of light touring. But we've got one more round to try to improve these scores. So still, everything's the same. Jeff Pohl in first. Stansel second, Abrams third, and Eldridge in fourth. That's nice when they come by and breeze us off a little bit.
Oh, that cool breeze from these beautiful Cessnas, these Pipers, these Stinsons. Boy, I tell you what, it feels great.
Love that little scent of 100 low lead as well. Remember, again, what I get so pumped about with this class is these are all aircraft that, many of us have trained in. Maybe not in a 170 tail dragger, but 172s, Cherokees. These are all aircraft that if you go get your pilot's license, which, by the way, you definitely should do it. Best thing I've ever done in my life. Aside from, I guess, having kids and getting married. Whoa, Jeff's tail up quick. Getting that angle of attack.
You know, Jeff definitely has a method to his madness. He gets that tail up high, gets that nose down low, and just bites as much air as he possibly can, gets up some speed, and lets her rip. All right, Clayton, you're nipping at their heels, buddy. It's time to go to work. I know it's hot in that cockpit.
Clayton from Belen, New Mexico. Here comes Jeff to the line. He's from Ocala, Florida. And behind him, Crandall in the Stinson 108 from Texas here. He's from Allen, Texas.
You know what's so cool about seeing that Piper out here? Talk about run what you brung. He's got wheel pants on that thing. He's got his luggage in the back of that thing. He's just out here having a ball. And it's proof that you don't need big fancy backcountry airplanes to do this. Fly your plane, come out, have a ball, pitch yourself not only against yourself but your buddies. Crandall keeps that Stinson so nice and clean. I just love the look of that airplane.
Maybe the E on the tail stands for excellent.
We'll have to ask him.
He is off into the wild blue yonder.
All right, guys. Well, these guys are in pattern. Are you guys having a good time? What do you think of these airplanes?
All right. Yeah, get pumped. Don't let the sun get you down. Go do some jumping jacks. Get energized. Hardcore short landings. Here comes Jeff.
Mr. Pole. Hanging that airplane in the air.
If you follow National STOL, you know that Jeff is one of the heavy hitters of the light touring class.
Keeps it in the air and drops those flaps.
Okay, so again, safer over the line. Flaps dropped, like you mentioned.
Get
Balancing
that tail
that brake.
down, Jeff. And there he is.
I think he's a little happy with that. We'll see if he improved his score at all. Previous score 360. Here comes Clayton.
Nice flight, Clayton. Nice landing. Nice safe over the line. You know, it's interesting. He leaves his flaps in on his rollout. Retracts them up.
So not an improvement for Jeff, so he's still at the top with 360. Here comes Jeff in that beautiful Cherokee.
Set her down, Jeff.
No flaps on that one.
No. Or did he get him up before he crossed?
Well, no flaps when he was still in the air, so.
Did he? Okay, so we just heard from one of the crowd. He retracted those flaps about 2 seconds. Now I think that's a good way to do it, because you get those flaps out, lose that lift, and pop her down, and let the brakes and suspension go to work, and then get a heavy maintenance bill at annual.
I was gonna say any student pilot that's done that or retracted them maybe on a go around too soon, a lot of CFIs in the crowd maybe go, oh, that's when they're like, I'm in danger. You gotta be prepared for it, be ready to go.
Keep that Stinson up.
Okay,
oh,
he's
nice
over the line,
landing.
really close to the line.
Perfectly executed landing right there. Good job, Crandall. Look at that little race car.
Maybe RV6, RV8. Or not an 8, sorry, RV6 or 7 there.
Little wing wag to say goodbye. Hello, see ya.
Okay, here they come, everybody. That's your first heat of light touring.
So that was their third and final run, so cheer and cheer loud. Let them hear it. Maybe if we asked them nicely, they would turn a little bit and give us a little breeze.
No, they're not going to turn this time because they're going into the pits. Nothing has changed on the standings board after those 3 rounds. Jeff still in first place with 360 feet, so he is the one to beat.
Mr. Abrams, the UPS pilot, all the way from Florida. And we're going to cut to commercial here.
So we will see you all in a minute when we're back in Gainesville, Texas.
When it's time to recover and paint your fabric-covered aircraft, look no further than AirTech Coatings. Since 1982, our FAA-approved system provides you with a shiny, durable, easy-to-apply product. The AirTech system has fewer steps than any other product on the market today, saving you both time and money. While using cutting-edge technology, we offer a wide range of products. Whether it's for work, play, antique, or aerobatic, we have you covered. Remember, we make paint fly.
And we are back here, Gainesville, Texas, on a hot, still day. We'll give you the scores for yesterday in just a second, but so excited to have you all here in Gainesville, Texas for Husky National STOL Lonestar STOL. And we are in the middle of light touring, getting ready for heat number 2 as the competitors taxi up to the line.
You know, we mentioned these belt buckles, but these beautiful gold, rose gold belt buckles wouldn't be possible without the support of Boomerang Air. We mentioned them a little while ago, but these guys are your Central Texas Cub Crafters dealership, and I'll tell you what, I fly a Cub Crafters Carbon Cub SS, and I have to tell you what a beautiful, fun plane to fly, but we just couldn't have these belt buckles without Boomerang Air. Now, first guy up is Kenneth Monger flying that 172. Look at him pull that thing up. Now, he's from Ken's from Arkansas, and I'll tell you, he was telling me some fun stories last night. I got to fly in Arkansas with him a couple months ago, but then I competed with him in Brainerd. What a fun man with just tons of stories. Does a ton of his own work on that plane. He's a machinist by trade. But next up, we have...
It's actually Parker Sloane at the line.
Yeah, I was going to say, they have Luke, but this is Parker Sloane. Young man, this guy, impressive, has landed in every airport in Arkansas and Oklahoma before he was 19 years old.
You heard me go up because there's a little bit of sink there, but he kept it off to keep the the original place where the wheels left. The ground in play. Here comes Trevor Smith in that beautiful white and orange Cessna Aerobat. I mentioned it before. Aerobats kind of rare in general. They're aerobatic 152s. I think this one might be this is a 150 aerobatic one.
Well, the fun thing about Trevor Smith, we talked on it yesterday. By trade, he works on avionics in airplanes. Been doing that for 18 years. He decided to compete in this thing on Tuesday. He pulled those wingtips out of his attic on Wednesday, put them on, got them riveted up, and flew down on Thursday. Pretty impressive.
There goes that RV. Okay, let's talk about, do you want to talk about Ladd Gardner Aviation?
Yeah, if you're looking for aviation insurance, look no further than Ladd Gardner Aviation Insurance. They have an extensive team of professional aviators. They'll give you the attention you deserve, build a relationship with you. They're agents you can trust, and they have a work ethic second to none. Ladd Gardner Aviation, fly protected.
Oh, holding it off. There we go. In the books for Kenny Monger in the 172 from Arkansas.
Now, one of the notes we have about him is he told me a story the other day. He used to have a cat. His wife loves cats, and she said that the smell of freshly cleaned sheets were like catnip to her that just made her giddy. He said, well, my airplane makes me giddy. I think she kicked him in the shin when he said it. But so he named his plane Catnip, had a picture of a cat on his table, but took it off because at his last annual he found some corrosion. And so redid his tail, redid all the metal in his tail, and he's got to get his sticker back on so he can fly Catnip.
Here we go, high and to the left. That's going to be Parker Sloane in the 172 Foxtrot. He's from Texas as well.
Sponsored by Aircraft Ignition Services.
Good for him to have something like that so early on. Okay.
Hold it off, Parker. Hold it off, buddy.
Oh, nice.
And he's
okay,
down.
Good to go.
Get on those brakes. Get off those flaps. Keep it straight on heading. Nice work, young man. So if Kenneth Monger, if his airplane is his catnip, Ryan, I have to believe I could guess what your catnip is.
Oh, goodness. I don't even know. I don't
Well,
know.
I'll tell you,
Is it safe?
It's meeting people and being on camera. Your channel, Super Aero, airs every Wednesday night on YouTube. And I'll tell you what, have a ball watching you, buddy.
Well, we'll have to have you on the show. Super Aero Live, super fun. Ha, no pun intended. Also super fun. Check out the Aerobat coming in. Oh, high angle of attack. That tail could not have been lower.
Locks up those brakes. Nice, nice run.
I asked him if he was going to do a barrel roll today for us. He said, well, probably not.
Well, I told him last night he should just take off, do a loop, and come back out, save going around on the pattern. But I don't know. Apparently the air boss out there talked about safety or something.
Needs a lot of smash, that airplane, to get it going, I think. It's a great training aircraft for that because if you go, from what I hear, I've not trained in aerobatics too much. I've done a little bit here, a little bit there. Getting those, you got to learn energy management before you go into something like an extra or a pits where you can just kind of like flop it every which way.
These guys are out here working their fannies off. They're having a ball, I got to tell you, but it is a lot of work in that cockpit. Chances are they've got some sweat running down their backs. Beautiful Cessna 172.
By the way, I just found out our sheets are incorrect. Mr. Sloane isn't from Texas. He's from Oklahoma. So we were wrong about that, too.
Well, we did mention all the airports he's landed. Landed in every airport in Oklahoma.
That would make sense. If he's flying from Texas to Oklahoma all the time, why not just fly in Texas? Okay, here we go. Off the ground, Kenny Monger in that 172.
One thing to make note, He got off the ground and touched back down, so if you saw our judges, they looked and then they ran down another 10 feet. This warm air is playing in. These airplanes are sinking.
And it's always at your disadvantage as a pilot to have something like that happen, because if the judges aren't standing right there, they're not going to have as accurate of a read. That's why we have so many of them on the line there. Here we go. Sloane.
Parker, get that thing off the ground, buddy. Lift, pull.
Keeping it.
sink.
I think he kept it off, though. There we go. Nice job.
Trevor in this beautiful 150. Look at that cool checker plane. And that's how you can tell it's a lot of times the aerobatics, because they have the checker paint on them.
Yeah, and a lot of times you also see them, they're usually red, like red and white with the checkerboard. This one's kind of unique that it's the orange color as well. Trevor Smith, if I'm not mistaken, was in 3rd place coming into today's finals in light touring.
You can see these guys are really, really fighting this density altitude.
Kenny Monger's on left base, keeping it tight. Let's look at our current standings. Okay, some things are getting shaken up a little bit. Jeff Pohl, 1st place. Kenny Monger, 2nd place with 401, so he's about 41 feet behind Pohl's 360. Stansel, 496. Sloane, 515. Smith, 592. And Eldridge, 651 in that Stinson. Here we go. Keeping it low. Angle
Come
attacks
on, Ken.
high.
Keep that thing up,
A little
buddy.
bit of throttle.
Nice
okay, he's over the
job,
line.
Ken. You can tell he wants it.
Yeah, Kenny Monger is going to put up a fight against Jeff Pohl in this for sure. Just watch the replay there of the landing approach over the line, and definitely healthy but close to the line in terms of vertical clearance there.
We're blessed with the option of a digital replay. We have lasers growing across the line. We can watch these guys and make sure they're doing what they're supposed to do, being safe, being good, flying their planes. One of the things, folks, you'll see pilots running around. High-five them, get to know them, ask them about their airplanes. There's one thing pilots love to do is talk about their airplanes.
That's not true. That no one likes to talk about airplanes.
You know what I've learned, though? You talk to pilots is like talking about fishermen. Their planes are always a little bigger, better, faster than what they really are, but that's okay. All right, Parker, keep this thing up in the air.
Oh, close.
Nice work. I don't think he touched down, did he?
I think it was clean. Heavy on the brakes. Got to get it stopped, though.
Well, the word just came across. That was definitely a good landing. Had a 352-foot rollout. That's going to get him right on the gravel bar. Okay, Trevor in this 150 pulled those wingtips out of the attic the other day.
Oh, I love how he's just so committed to the high angle of attack approach. It's like he's trying to trap on a carrier every time with that tail.
He's either doing that or he's getting ready to plant some winter wheat down here, dragging that thing around like an old plow.
Now, Trevor Smith, again, placed very well yesterday. We're going to see if any of these places change.
Parker.
Nice.
You'll notice, guys, some people wear helmets when they do the STOL. A lot of the guys that are wearing helmets, they not only fly in this traditional STOL, but they do different types of events that they require helmets. So you'll see some guys flying with helmets and some guys not.
Yeah, we've got our friends you're going to see later, the Legend Cub crew, the Legend Aircraft crew. A lot of them go down to Arkansas. That's a different kind of race course event. There's also STOL Drag, which I know you competed in Reno last week. Very exciting. So you'll see these pilots all over the place. Here goes Parker Sloane.
Come on, Parker, get that. There we go.
Nursing it off. Again, I think he's got those electric flaps, so he's got to kind of nurse them off, get it all situated as he's climbing out, get that climb speed established. Trevor Smith at the line.
You know, with these warmer temperatures and these higher density altitude air, we're seeing these guys' climb outs a lot less aggressive than we saw yesterday, Ryan.
Yeah, between that and the minimal wind.
Yep. And they're staying in their ground effect a lot longer. Look at Trevor keeping it in ground effect. He'll drop those flaps, and you'll see him sink a little bit and then start to climb out.
Yeah, I don't know if I should admit this or not. I've never flown in a 150 or 152.
Really?
It's kind of rare, right? Normally that's like your first training aircraft.
Well, I think that or the 172, you know.
172 I co-own right now, but I did all my training in J3s and Piper Cherokees.
Oh, look at you, you lucky bird.
Yeah, it was fun. Okay, low to the left. Kenny Monger, he's got to make up 41 feet to catch Jeff Pohl.
All right, Kenneth, keep it in the air. Get that nose up, get that tail down.
Burst of power.
Touchdown, little throttle, and
nice
touchdown. Wow.
Yeah, round of applause is right. Get him stopped.
Look at those guys cheering on their buddies over there. Huh? Let's hear it for our line crew over there. Gliding across the taxiway with the greatest of ease, like she's floating on the breeze. Miss Anitra Goddard, everybody.
So Jeff just came out of the bus, and it looks like Kenny Monger did make up that distance. That's right. So Monger with 346, now in first place over Jeff Pohl with 360.
Out in front of everybody.
He's clapping, though. He's clapping.
Out in front of everybody, Mr. Pohl is clapping. You see him behind the RV. He's going to be out there kicking dirt and calling kicking dirt and calling his mechanic and saying, need more power.
He just said Kenny deserves it more than anybody. So
that's a good sport.
True competitor there. Okay, high and to your left, here's Parker Sloane.
Let the crap talking begin, Mr. Pohl. Parker, hold that thing up. Hold it up.
That's a scratch for Parker Sloane. That's too bad because he was in shooting distance of Stansel. Clayton Stansel in the 172. He's only about 20 feet or 19 feet away from Clayton there.
All right, Ryan, so this is the third round. This is the last landing of our light touring class. Here comes Trevor with that nose-high attitude, tail down. Get it up, get it up.
Oh,
and a
bummer.
bust. It just makes your heart break for him when you see your buddies bust a landing.
And I think that especially for Trevor Smith in the 150 Aerobat, he was much higher on the boards from qualifying yesterday than he did today. So I don't know if it's a difference in the wins or whatever, just not quite as strong of a performance for him. He was, I believe, third place coming into today. But now let's talk real briefly about where we stand at the end of light touring. Kenny Monger with the upset. 346. Jeff saying to him, you're number one, he's pointing at him, you're number one, man. And he's shaking his head, there's no way. There's no way. He doesn't know whether or not to believe him. Jeff Pohl, second place, 360 Clayton Stansel third place with 496. So that's a jump up for him compared to yesterday's qualifying. Parker Sloane, 5:15, so just a little bit longer than Clayton. Mr. Smith in the Aerobat, 5th place, 592 feet.
Nice work, Trevor. Nice work, buddy.
And, of course, we cannot forget our friend in the Stinson, Crandall Eldridge in the 108.
All right, so we're going to take a quick break here in a little bit. We're trying to sort out some airplanes, but what I think's going to happen is we're going to start pulling out our bush class, and you're going to see some heavy competitors in this class coming from all over the country. These guys have been flying at event after event. Some pretty impressive airplanes. When we do take a break for lunch, we're going to have some great food provided by some food trucks. Yesterday I got some chicken and noodles. It was amazing, fantastic. And today I don't know who's showing up, and I don't know even when they're showing up, but when those food trucks arrive, I have a feeling there's going to be a mad rush to them because the food is great.
So while we talk here, while we get ready to go for Bush Class, let's talk about where the standings were yesterday in Bush Class coming in out of qualifying. Kevin Johnson in a Super Cub, best takeoff of 96 feet. That is short, total of 224. Austin Clemons, the boy wonder in the Aviat Husky. You've seen him all over the country this year, 255 feet combined. Steve Pearce, another Super Cub, 1972 model, with 258 feet. Curtis Thomas, also in a Super Cub, 320 feet. Sean Francis in a brand spanking new 2021 Aviat Husky, 338 feet. And Jeremiah Stapleton, also in a Super Cub, 377. I want you to think about those numbers and think about how tight they all were together. It's really anyone's game today, especially Austin and Kevin only about 30 feet apart. So excited to see what happens in Bush Class. Again, Bush Class, first up we'll see Austin Clemons. Then we'll see Don Lamont in the Husky, so 2 Huskies back-to-back. Curtis Thomas and Sean Francis after that in a Super Cub and Husky, respectively. Steve Pearce, and then Jeremiah Stapleton is Charlie 6 in the Bush Class.
And word just came down. We are taking a half-an-hour break, so I urge you guys to get some swag, get some water, get hydrated, come back and watch some exciting Bush Class STOL, and then we'll go from that and we'll get into some alternate Bush Class. And but definitely get hydrated up, get some sunscreen on, and let's get ready. Stretch those legs, and let's get ready for some more flying here in about 30 minutes. We'll line them up.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
Yeah, I got that right turn. We're good.
Let's meet up at the compound group up.
That's 10-4.
Yeah, for sure, dog.
Good little driver, straight on through.
When it's time to recover and paint your fabric-covered aircraft, look no further than AirTech Coatings. Since 1982, our FAA-approved system provides you with a shiny, durable, easy-to-apply product. The AirTech system has fewer steps than any other product on the market today, saving you both time and money. While using cutting-edge technology, we offer a wide range of products. Whether it's for work, play, antique, or aerobatic, we have you covered. Remember, we make paint fly.
Most pilots know the Aviat Husky is a modern, tandem-seat bushplane capable of operating in and out of short and rough fields, but not so many know the history of this American-made aircraft. Picturesque Afton, Wyoming has always been at the center of adventurous travel. Founded by Mormon settlers, Afton is located just off the Lander Trail, a cutoff of the Oregon Trail, and the first wagon road built by the U.S. government. A shortcut to the California goldfields, today Afton is home to Aviat Aircraft, manufacturers of the Husky, Pitts, and Eagle sport and utility aircraft for the current generation of adventurers. But before we discuss the modern aircraft, let's go into the rich background and history of this amazing company. In the 1930s, the Call family, Afton ranchers, and gas and oil distributors built Polaris snow machines, the predecessor of what we know today as the snowmobile, for their friends and their own recreational use. In 1939, when Mr. Call learned to fly, he discovered that aircraft of the day had challenges with both the high altitude and rugged environment of the area. So he decided that he could build a purpose-built mountain flying machine. He began building the low-wing strut-braced A3, and he called his company Call Air. However, at the opposite end of the country, in Homestead, Florida, Curtis Pitts was producing the Pitts Special biplane. He was producing plans, kits, and components, as well as actual turnkey aircraft. About that time Rockwell became interested in buying Call Air, Curtis Pitts had a similar set of unusual circumstances. Pitts's aerobatic airplanes were not type certified, and his production facility was not FAA certified. Call Air came up with a plan to solve the problem in both Afton and Homestead, a joint venture. The deal was structured so that Afton would take care of all the sales, manufacturing, and production of the Pitts Special, and Curtis would take care of the engineering and FAA issues from Homestead. The type-certified Pitts series that began with the S1S were all Pitts' designs, and were all produced in Afton, with the S2A in production and Pitts planes the most desired aerobatic planes in the world. Frank Christensen of Hollister, California, wanted to buy the Pitts factory in Afton, which was called Aerotech at the time, and was a division of Pitts Aviation Enterprises in Homestead. A deal could not be consummated. In coming up short in buying the factory, Christensen, who was very interested in sport aviation aerobatics, did the next best thing. He created the Eagle II Biplane Kit, based on the Pitts S2A, combining well laid out plans and all needed parts and supplies changing kit building forever. The S2A and Eagle were both successful and active in sport aerobatics. Pitts and Christensen were essentially competitors. When Pitts retired, his partner in Afton, Doyle Childs, bought his interest in the company. Childs then offered to sell the company to Christensen, who bought the interest in the early 1980s, and the name was changed to Christen Industries. Christensen consolidated production of the Pitts models and the Eagle in Afton and created the S2B, an enhanced version of the S2A. As biplane sales began to slow, Christensen was interested in obtaining rights to the Piper Super Cub. With Piper wanting over $1 million, a deal fell flat, so in 1985 they decided to design their own bushplane from scratch and name it the Husky. He surveyed Piper Cub owners to learn what they did and didn't like about the airplane. Christensen and his design team then set out to create an enhanced, clean sheet airplane, improving on what was good and getting rid of what was bad in the Piper Cub's design. In 1986, they began the project. In 1987, the Husky was FAA certified. The Husky went into production in 1987. Napkin sketch to FAA certification to commercial production took less than 18 months, a feat nearly impossible today. In 1991, when Christensen was ready to retire, the company was sold to an Englishman, Malcolm White, and it became Aviat Inc. In 1995, after seeing an ad in the New York Times, then commercial real estate developer Stu Horn purchased Aviat. The name was changed to Aviat Aircraft Incorporated. Resembling the Super Cub in appearance and dimension, the Husky nevertheless had significant changes. Fuselage structure, 180 horsepower Lycoming engine with constant speed prop, and modified airfoil with 4-position semi-Fowler single-slotted flaps. The power, prop, airfoil, and general aerodynamic cleanup gave the Husky a 25 mph higher cruise speed than the Cub, while retaining a slow stall speed of only 42 mph. The original A1, with its 1,800-pound gross weight, Spartan interior, non-existent heater, and one coat of enamel, has been continuously improved upon in the last 30 years of development. The need to increase the useful load was the beginning. In 1999, with the A1A going from 1,800 to 1,890 pounds gross weight. In 2000, the A1B, the gross weight went to 2,000 pounds. 2005 saw an all-new, innovative wing design, introducing a 60% span flaps, as well as an aerodynamically balanced aileron design, eliminating the spade. The new aerodynamically balanced aileron increased the aircraft's roll rate as well as low-speed handling roll authority. 2007 saw the introduction of the A1C, further increasing gross weight to 2,200 pounds, a new larger door with outside locking door handle, veneer mixture and propeller controls, and LED landing and taxi lights. 2012 saw one of the greatest improvements to the Husky yet. Gross weight increased to 2,250 pounds, in concert with a new shock-dampened landing gear system, controlling rebound and increasing controllability. And bringing us current, the 2018 Husky, sporting the latest in Garmin glass avionics. An all-new redundant cable trim tab system, replacing the outgoing bungees, decreasing stick forces as well as trim workload. Extended landing gear, increasing propeller clearance and offering much greater stability. We've also addressed both pilot and passenger seats. Starting in the rear, a quick-release pin system allows the entire rear seat and seat frame to be removed, allowing over 35 cubic feet of storage space. And in the front, full fore and aft adjustability, accommodating a much wider range of pilot heights, as well as pilot seat back articulation, allowing for easier passenger entry and exit. Further refinements include an integrated throttle quadrant, allowing one-handed operation of throttle, mixture, and propeller. Aviat has been recognized for the relentless dedication of over 50 talented artisans for their innovation, craftsmanship, and superb quality of the most robust, safest, and best performing aircraft in the world. Husky means more. And to the over 6,000 Aviat aircraft owners, we here want to thank you for allowing us to be a part of your family's memories and experiences for all of these decades.
Just a quick update for everyone here at National STOL. We will be resuming competition at 1:30 p.m. If you want to go grab a bite to eat, come back by 1:30 p.m. when the action will start again. Thank you. Welcome back, everybody, to National STOL here. Lonestar STOL, Gainesville, Texas. We are getting ready for Bush Class. Very hot out today. Not a lot of wind. Starting to get a little bit of wind from the south. The Bush Class competitors will be happy with that. I'm Ryan Dombrowski here with Colin Kniva. And we're going to just tear it up this afternoon with Bush Class, followed by another Bush Class, followed by experimental and light sport. It's going to be epic.
Ryan, did you get a chance to get some water at that break?
I got a little bit of water. I hope everyone else is staying hydrated.
That's right. I saw you licking your lips a little bit right before break, so I was really kind of worried about you because you're kind of out here in a heavy shirt. You're, we've got our closed-toed shoes on. We're not
That's right.
out here in our flip-flops. But that light breeze that did pick up really feels pretty nice.
Yeah, and actually, as we sit here and talk about it, it's starting to get a little bit gustier. I need to hit the cough button.
Well, get it out, you brother, and we'll get going here in a second. Look at this beautiful lineup of aircraft we have in this class. The first contender we have is Austin Clemons.
That's right, Austin Clemons in the 2011 Aviat Husky. We also have Don Lamont, also in a Husky, that beautiful red and white one there. Curtis Thomas coming up in a Super Cub, followed by Sean Francis in that, look at that, 2021 brand spanking new Husky. Steve Pearce and Jeremiah Stapleton, Super Cubs, bringing up the rear.
What a fun class. And I tell you what, now that we got Austin at the line, it's a great time to talk about one of our sponsors, is Clemons Aviation. Dwayne and Julie Clemons are in the crowd walking around supporting their son. Austin's a young man, 19 years old. He flies the pants out about everything he gets. But Clemons Aviation is a family-owned operation. They're located in Wichita, Kansas. Clemons is proud to offer one of the most unique operations in aviation industry, covering aircraft sales, management, flight testing, maintenance. They even do airport development. Are you ready to take off? Come see why Clemons' combined family expertise makes Clemons Aviation the superior choice. And I can say, as our relationship grows with the Clemons, I am just proud of them and proud of Austin. Here we go. Let's get it going. Pull that thing back, Austin, and get off the ground and get out of here like you're late for supper. All right, our next contender is Don Lamont. This guy's flying another Aviat Husky. And I tell you what, look at him. He's got a belly pod. He's ready to go out into the woods with that puppy. All right, he's been given the thumbs up. Gets on that throttle. Gets his tail up. Pulls his flaps down and back on the yoke, and he is in the air. We'll get all these guys up into the pattern.
So again, this class, Bush Class, probably what you think of when you think about short takeoff and landing or bush flying. At the line here right now, we've got the quintessential Super Cub, kind of the workhorse of Alaska and the backcountry. And then we have the Huskies, the modern version of that.
There he goes. There he goes.
So that's Curtis, and then pulling up to the line now, Sean Francis, 2021 Husky A1C Alpha 1 Charlie model.
Now, Sean was nice enough to let me sit in that airplane yesterday, and talk about getting into luxury. That airplane, folks, if you haven't checked it out, make sure to get over there and check it out after the racing. Revs those ponies up and lets them run.
Oh, it timed it a little bit off there. Didn't spring into the air, I think, like he hoped it would.
Now here's Steve Pearce in a Super Cub. Now, folks, look at this airplane. This gentleman, he didn't take luggage out. He took his camping gear and his fishing gear. He came straight here from the river. He got that puppy off the deck. That guy can land about anywhere.
Jeremiah Stapleton pulling up to the line.
Not only is Jeremiah just one heck of a pilot, he's flying one of his friends' airplanes, but talk about a musician. He has been our resident entertainer for us around the campfires at night. He pulls out that guitar, got a beautiful voice, keeps us singing and tapping our toes. Jeremiah, let's see you get that bird off the ground, brother. There he's off. Pull back, there he goes. Stays in ground effect in this warm weather. That little breeze, just like that, the breeze is gone. I'll let my friend Ryan start talking again. The hot air will start flowing. That'll be great. But first, let's watch Austin come in here. Now, he might pull out a secret weapon, folks, and you'll hear it if he does. Drops it in. And look at that reverse prop. Look at him stop that puppy, huh?
So
now, he's got a button on top of his yoke. When he comes in, you'll notice this change in pitch about a foot off the deck. Austin is the best of the best when it comes to running that beta prop. I'll tell you what, we just ran against him in Reno. And at first, we didn't know if he was going to pull out that secret weapon. We saw the dust fly, and you also heard a big gasp. Oh, crud. He just gets it.
So for those of you who maybe aren't pilots or aspiring pilots, what that beta prop means is the pitch of the prop reverses and it pushes the air forward, and that's what slows the plane down.
All right, here comes this Super Cub. He played it nice and conservative on this one. Nice run, nice landing.
That's Don Lamont. A little bit longer than I think he wanted to land there, but definitely a safe and on the board. Again, all it takes is one scratch for you to go from a lower place to a higher one. Speaking of higher, high and to the left, here comes Super Cub Curtis Thomas.
Now, Curtis is another Fat Tire Cowboy located here in Texas. If you guys don't follow the Fat Tire Cowboys, I highly recommend you jump on YouTube. You follow their nice landing, Curtis. Get on those brakes, buddy. Get that tail up. Keep it safe.
I'm guessing that was a scratch. What do you think? Was it a scratch for you?
I think it was good, but we'll see on the replay.
Okay, well, we'll see. We're going to put some money on it? I don't have any money. We can't put any money on it.
Okay, word is I'm wrong.
Well, I should have put money on it. It was a scratch. So it was a scratch for Curtis Thomas there.
All right, here comes another beautiful Aviat Husky. You know, so grateful for companies like Aviat sponsor events like this. You saw the gold belt buckles. They're shiny. They say Husky Aviat. They say Husky International STOL, and I was told over the break, let's get that puppy stopped.
Coming in kind of hot there. Heavy on the brakes. Again, now we're seeing some, if you were here this morning, you were watching this morning, you saw that we had folks off to the basically minimal wind, and now that's switching to a left crosswind for them. That's going to definitely change some approaches. It's also going to mean that wind, that crosswind component, that's still going to help us slow down a little bit. So the more wind, the better for STOL for shorter takeoffs and landings.
Well, it doesn't take much wind when these aircraft are weighing, about 1,300 pounds. We're just floating this Super Cub on in, dropping it in. Come on, Steve. Puts down nice and safe. Oh, gets a bounce. There he is. You know, I was told over the break that not only are belt buckles shiny, but down in Texas there's a thing called buckle bunnies. Now, Ryan, I never even heard of a buckle bunny, but
I've never heard of a buckle bunny.
Buckles are a big deal down here, and apparently they're very impressive. That guy's got that fan wound up. They're very impressive, and to some of the ladies. Don't scratch. Keep that thing up, Jeremiah.
Oh, I think that's a definite scratch for Jeremiah.
You know, folks, Jeremiah's flying that plane really conservatively because, like I said, that's not his plane. A friend of his told him on the ramp when he was packing up to come here, take my Super Cub. And Jeremiah, being the man he is, said, no, I can't fly your Cub. I refuse. The guy basically twists his arm and made him fly it. Now, you wouldn't have to, if you had that plane, you would not have to twist my arm to let me fly it. Everybody wave at Austin.
Yeah,
give him a
get
big
some
thumbs up.
fist pumping action here. Let me give you the standings after the first round of the Bush Class Finals. Is it better when I give it a little growl like that? Get a little more exciting, right? Okay, Austin Clemons in first place, 283 feet combined. Steve Pearce, 335. Don Lamont and another Husky, 546. And Sean Francis, fourth place, 590. The other competitors that scratched not on the board yet. Austin's playing around with that reverse pitch, that reverse thrust, getting it exactly where the judge wants on the line.
Well, if you look on his tail, you see the way his Husky's a little different than the other ones. I think that Husky's growling because it's mad he keeps blowing dirt at it. Steve Pearce with that beautiful Super Cub, I'll tell you what, that's one of those planes that just flat flies, well maintained. He doesn't spend a lot of time cleaning it because he is always flying it. Jeremiah, the guitar picking musician. Let's go, Austin.
Here goes Austin, and he's in the air quick.
Okay, next we have Don Lamont, another Aviat Husky. Now his Husky's just got a serious grimacing look on his face. Pulls the flaps. And he's off. Okay, we got another Super Cub up here, just a beautiful plane. Like I was saying, Fat Tire Cowboys, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're on social media, Facebook, Instagram, find the Fat Tire Cowboys and follow them. They've always got a great message every Friday night. Their content is awesome. Look at this. Okay, Sean. Get that shiny bird off the ground.
So a little story that was told to me last night about Steve Pearce. He was at Oshkosh this year doing the STOL demo there, and when he landed at Oshkosh, they said, oh, just taxi over here to wash your plane. And he said, my plane's a working plane. I don't need to wash it. I need to fly it. And he's off short.
Yeah, so one Super Cub flies dirty and Jeremiah flying the clean Cub. They're both just flying the pants right off of them, having a ball, looking great, enjoying this warm weather. He just got the go-ahead.
Getting that tail off the ground. You're going to see more and more of that now as we get into more and more tail dragger aircraft.
Well, as these airplanes get lighter and lighter, you'll see them start to wind those engines up. They'll get those tails off the ground. They'll hold on the brakes. They'll hold on the brakes. Right to go. Listen
Here's
to that
Austin,
prop.
easily over the line, heavy on the brakes with the reverse thrust. Man, that is cool.
He is stopped. Well, Ryan, the next class coming up is the experimental bush, and I'm actually flying in that one, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the mic.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go get my plane warmed up, and I want you guys to cheer loudly when you see number 43. I'm going to go have some fun, brother.
Awesome.
I think we have a surprise, though. We might hear from you in the cockpit.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do with that. Awesome. Good luck, and we'll see you in a little bit.
All right. Thanks, brother.
I definitely will not secretly give you the scores over text message. Okay, let's catch everybody up on where we're at. We just had a go-around while I was distracted by Colin leaving. Go-arounds are allowed in the rule book, so he'll be coming around for another one. Meanwhile, here comes Jeremiah Stapleton. That was actually Curtis. Curtis Thomas will be giving me a little razzing about that later tonight. Okay. High and to the left, Sean Francis coming in his bright, shiny, brand new Husky.
Are we on?
Okay, and everyone, I am super, super honored as
Ooh,
Sean Francis comes in. You hear him on the mic. It's Kevin Johnson, famously.
That would be Lacey to you, sir.
Why did they tell me your last name was I know you. I've seen you on the television. Look at this guy right here,
Yeah,
see?
there you go, folks.
Mr. Lacey, I apologize. I got a lot of names in my head right now, but it's so great to have you here with us.
Well, that's all right, but hey, you know what? You're wasting a lot of time because we got airplanes coming and going over
That's
here.
true.
We need to pay attention to these guys, and I think that last guy scratched, but I'm not sure. You weren't watching.
It was a scratch.
Aha. Well,
out of the corner of your eye.
Yeah, out of the corner of my eye, I caught him. Ooh, that was close.
That was close. We're going to see what he says. They're calling it good or a scratch. We will find out in the booth.
I think they called that one good. That one did good.
They're checking in the booth right now to confirm, but I think I agree with you. And let me give you the standings. We haven't talked about the standings at all real quick. Austin Clemons, first place, 283. The last one was good. Good
yeah,
call.
Good call there.
Mr. Pearce in at
And I did that without
335.
my glasses on. Oh, this was getting close.
Here's Jeremiah
Hang it.
Stapleton.
Oh, he's long. Oh, my. Oh, well. Get on those binders.
He got it stopped. Yeah, we're putting him to work right now. Yeah, there we go. All right.
There you go, Doug. I haven't been here 5 minutes and see what happens. It's good to see you. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We'd have been here earlier had you give us a heads up.
Okay, here we go. This is Don Lamont.
Oh, I'd call that a scratch.
I'd call that a scratch, too.
That was by a plane length almost.
Getting it stopped, though.
Hey there. Doing good. How are you guys doing? Good to see you.
Of course, we have when you have a celebrity in the announcer's booth, it attracts a little bit of attention. Kevin Lacey here, everybody, from Airplane Repo. So cool to have him in the booth with me. We're getting reset for the next round. Everyone, make sure you wave up at him. Cheer him on. Hoot and holler. Here comes Austin Clemons by the booth. Saw him practicing last night. He's not wearing his sunglasses, probably because every time he sees me, they fly out of his plane. He's got to go get them.
So you're the official sunglass chaser?
Yeah, that's me. Yep. Okay, headed into round 2. Oh, look at that. Steve Pearce now in first place in front of Austin by only 10 feet. Austin Clemons, second place, 283. Curtis Thomas, 460. Jeremiah Stapleton's in fourth place with a combined score of 514. Don Lamont, 546. And bringing up the rear, Sean Francis, 590. So it is a healthy battle for first place between Pearce and Clemons. Thomas has a bunch of ground to make up if he wants to be part of that fight.
I'm not sure how you can read that screen without your glasses on. You must be a young one.
No, you saw how close I was getting. I was trying
well, okay, yeah.
There it is.
There you go. And we're back to the races again, folks. Here we go. And he's going to try to bounce it off the tail and does a nice job there. Look at that one go.
That was excellent. There we go.
Yes.
Here comes our friend Don Lamont in the red and white Husky.
And here we go. Oh, I think he's going to be a long run on this one. Get some flaps in. There you go. Oh, no.
Timing on that wasn't quite right.
Timing was a little off, wasn't it? Yes.
And everybody, want to give a shout out to our director in the control room, Tom Flannery. He's been working overtime to make sure that we get all these awesome graphics for you on YouTube if you're watching at home or watching this later, because you loved it so much while you're here today in Texas. If you like the graphics and the scorecards and all that stuff, put a little thing in the chat for him. Send him a little love.
Here he goes. In go the flaps, and he doesn't quite. That's a long roll on that one.
That was a long roll. This is nice. I feel like I've got someone who knows what they're talking about next to me. And we see the windsock off in the distance there. Not super inflated.
And here we go again. That was a long roll, but he still got off pretty good. It was a clean takeoff. .213 on that last takeoff there, 213 feet. I like this airplane. It looks like it pulled it out of the barn just to show up. There we go. He's got big balloon tires. That's a nice one.
That was off short.
That was good.
And notice his flaps are a little different. I think they're more like a Fowler style flap.
Well, I didn't get that close to look at it because these are readers. I need my long range glasses for that.
And the next come around, you can let me know what you think.
Well, I think it was the balloon tires. He bounced it off the runway there, give him
get
some
a little
bounce
extra.
Effect,
I heard he put helium in them too, though. That helps a little bit. Here's Jeremiah Stapleton in 228 Tango.
There we go. Keep that tail up. Flaps in, and off we go. Oh, a little bit on the timing there that time.
Okay,
Still
so that's
a good roll, though.
This is the third round, right? Yes. And there's only one heat,
And here we come.
Okay, last round for the Bush class. Last chance for Austin to steal it back.
Oh,
bummer.
Well, he did an impressive stop there,
That's
but I'm going to say he's DQ'd on that one.
Scratched on that one. It looked like that to me. We're going to watch the replay here. Yeah, clearly a scratch that all but confirms Pearce will be our first place.
That was a great effort, though.
Only 10 feet separating those runs so far.
Oh, no. Oh,
Another
no.
scratch.
Another scratch.
You notice the wind has died down almost to nothing again, and I'm sure that's part of it, the changing conditions. Even that little bit amount of wind could make a big difference when you're trying to dial things in by tens of feet.
Well, every single landing is different, and you have to adjust every single time.
That is true.
Wind conditions are never the same twice. So here we come again. What do we got here? Oh, he just made it. Good one.
Curtis Thomas in that Fat Tire Cowboys Super Cub. Currently in 3rd place. And now we've got Sean Francis. And by the way, if you're wondering, that one was good. 191-foot landing. Steve Pearce and the beautiful Aviat Husky.
Oh, another scratch.
Another scratch.
Whoa, I don't know. I think you're right. That wind effect must have something to do with it here. They're miscalculating or misjudging just slightly.
All right, here's my favorite and your favorite Cub coming in, Steve Pearce.
What do they call this one? Patches?
Patches.
On the last takeoff, 97 feet for this guy. My goodness.
That's pretty short.
Yep, let's see what he does for a landing. Those big balloon tires will suck up a lot of energy for him.
Just hovering it in. Oh,
yeah.
it.
Oh, yeah. Get on him.
Got the brakes locked up there.
Nice job. Nicely done. I don't know why the ugliest airplane out here is doing the best job.
Right. We're going to watch the replay on that. I feel like that was good, personally. Yeah, it looks good to us.
His tail, I think his tail hit the line, but that was good otherwise.
Tail's okay to hit. 69 foot?
Oh, boy.
Oh, that can't be right.
Oh. Uh-oh. We're
169.
I don't know what we're doing here, but I think his tires are almost rolling already.
Oh,
scratch there again.
Scratched it. Okay.
That was a bummer, but he sure drug it in nice. Who are we listening to?
What's that?
Who are we listening to?
Oh, and here's Tom and Tom Flannery's in there.
Were they watching there too?
Yeah,
Oh.
On the camera.
Oh, okay.
All right, so that wraps up Busch Class unofficial results with the upset. Steve Pearce, first place with 266. Unseating Austin Clemons with 283. 3rd place, Curtis Thomas of the Fat Tire Cowboys in the top 3. There we go, everybody. We were going to get this all checked out next. We're going to head over to alternate Busch. We'll see you in just a few minutes.
I got that right turn. We're good.
Let's meet up at the compound group up.
At 10-4.
Yeah, for sure, dog.
Good little driver. Straight on through.
And we're back. Everybody, get pumped. It's time to get even slower and even shorter with alternate bush. Experimental class here. And you're going to see a lot of legend cubs. A lot of legend cubs. I'm here with very, very special guest, Kevin Lacey. He's just telling me about how he and his students flew up today. They could either rebuild an engine or they could fly up. Here's the lineup today. In Delta 1, Brian Steck, 2020 legend aircraft, mother of all Cubs. Behind him, John Wisdom, also in a MOAC. His distinct special advantage is the gun cases on the wings. That gives him at least a 10-knot slower approach.
You have a lot more lift.
There you go.
That's what Darren says.
Keith Geiger behind him in the Badlands Traveler. Colin Kniva, my co-host for the first part of the day. Behind him in his Carbon Cub. Kevin Johnson in a Super Cub. And then Greg Rodriguez in another MOAC. And we'll see. I don't know if any of these guys are wearing their gold shoes. The legend aircraft guys have this thing about wearing gold shoes when one of them wins around. So I believe John Wisdom took home the gold shoe prize yesterday. We'll see if maybe he'll stick his feet out of the door when he's taxiing by for us. So tell me a little bit about, you were telling me before we got started, we were at commercial break, you were talking about you've got this group of kids that you're teaching about aviation. You brought them up today?
Yeah, right. The Tango 31 Aero Club, a bunch of youngsters from the McKinney, Prosper, Wiley area, about 30 miles southeast of here. And they just started showing up at my hangar for some reason or another and decided this is time to find something for them to do. They wanted to play with airplanes. So, yeah, we brought them up here today. They had the option to build a Lycoming 0320 for a project they're doing right now, or they had the option to come up here and perhaps perform and participate in the judging and the landing and what have you, takeoffs. So they choose to go fly today and come on up here. They'll be building an engine tonight, though, I can tell you that.
You got to earn it, right?
Yeah, they got to earn it. Well, they flew up here in one of the airplanes that they actually did a frame-up restoration on.
Oh, that's amazing.
They built the engine in it. They did the avionics install. They did everything, even painted it.
Even painted it. Paint is like the scariest part for a lot of people.
Well, they laid it out and they painted it. They did not care. They're not afraid of anything.
Here's Brian Steck in the MOAC.
Whoa, nicely done.
Huge vertical
nicely
there.
Done. Well, I think these youngsters aren't scared of anything.
88 feet on that takeoff.
Wow, that was nice and short.
Here's the it's time for the gun show. John Wisdom in another MOAC. MOAC, kind of a mother of all Cubs special way to configure that.
Here we go.
Slats, flaps.
Ah, yes. That was pretty short there.
Here comes the Badlands Traveler. Unique. I was just learning about this. I guess it's a Cub body or fuselage, Cub fuselage. And this one's got 152, Cessna 152 wings. It's kind of a Frankenstein.
Wow, that is a Frankenstein type airplane, but I'll bet those Fowler flaps give it some. Oh. Well, skipped a few. I think his timing was off just a little on that one.
Here's Colin Kniva. In the Carbon Cub. Colin, you can, of course, see on Carbon TV with his show Old Green Plane, where he flies an older, greener plane than this.
Now, she's got some tires on this one. Oh, nice one.
Kevin Johnson.
Nicely done.
Kevin Johnson in the green Super Cub there. And last but certainly not least, Greg Rodriguez in this blue and yellow MOAC. Legend Aircraft making a strong showing today. Already light on the tires.
Yes, but he held it down.
A little bit of a gentler approach there. Let's talk about Legend Aircraft for a second. American Legend Aircraft is building the most innovative and advanced Cubs today. If there's any notion in your mind that flying these airplanes is a sensation, both beautiful and profound, you owe it to yourself to try one on. There's only one true original. Realize your dreams, American Legend Aircraft.
And they're right here from Sulphur Springs, Texas.
Just insane. A couple of people from National STOL got to take a demo ride in one of the MOACs at Swamp STOL in Louisiana, and the word on the street was that, whoo, slow. Get it really, really slow. Speaking of MOACs, here comes Brian Steck.
Oh, boy.
Heavy on the brakes. Got it down, and he's on the board.
There you go. Came in nice and slow, but didn't have a whole lot of energy that he had to kill when he got there. 161 feet on that one. Look at him hanging this one. Oh, he is bringing it in. Mr. Wisdom is bringing that one in. Oh, baby. I think he's going to go around on that one.
Got a little too much angle of attack there.
Yeah, he was going to drop it in, wasn't he? That would have been a way to kill that energy, wouldn't it?
That's what you call behind the power curve, I think.
Well, looked like he was right on the power curve there.
That's what go-arounds are for. Here comes the Badlands Traveler.
Oh, yes. Well, he touched down. He already cheated himself out of about 50 feet. He didn't touch down to about 50 feet down the road.
Heard some folks behind us saying, yeah, way too fast, coming in hot. Here's Colin Kniva.
Well, he was worried about getting run over by Colin here. Colin's sneaking up pretty close behind him. Nice. All right, here we go. We got another one coming up here, and this is, well, those tires sure do take up a lot of energy when they hit the ground there, which is good for trying to do a short field landing.
Yeah, I was talking to Jay Stanford, another one of the Bush pilots that's not here today, but we met at Sun and Fun. He was talking about how he was trying to teach me a little bit about this. He said it's all about getting that momentum down into the ground instead of forward. So that's where the big tires, the big shocks, things like that come in.
Right, kills an awful lot of energy that way. And here we come again.
Bouncing down.
That's not going to help much.
Is he going to stop? No.
I think he decided that one was a little long. And here comes the mother of all Cubs again. Oh,
and a scratch.
Shame. That was a scratch on that one. Just a few feet too short.
I'm guessing he was a little shaken up from the from how he was before. Wanted to play this one a little safer.
Very well could be.
And I was corrected, by the way. A sheet of paper was handed to me. I guess I was 2 off. It's not a Cessna 152 wing. It's a Cessna 150 wing on the Badlands Traveler. And also, I forgot a word. It's not just a Super Cub fuselage. It's a stretched Super Cub fuselage. So I apologize to our friends who own the Badlands Traveler. They wanted to make sure, very specific, 40 degrees of flaps on that. So really slow, but no slats.
Yeah, but those flaps will come out. You can hang that thing like a barn, like throwing out the barn doors. Yeah, folks, when you see these guys taxiing by, you might want to wave at them and keep in mind that they're risking their airplanes and to do this and put this competition on. Of course, they do that every day anyway. However, it is still, some of these airplanes very well could be having a trailer home this after the event.
Here's Colin.
There you go.
He's got his, that's a vinyl wrap on the plane there, the digital camo.
Good grief. That thing's got lots of graphics on it, doesn't it?
And he told me that he was applying it to the airplane and his hangar, and next door is the Nebraska Highway Patrol, and he realized he couldn't do it alone, so he called the Highway Patrol and said, hey, come help me. And they're like, what do you need? He's like, I need help putting this vinyl graphic on my plane. And they helped him.
Well, here we go again. All right, who we got up here this time? Oh, nice. Oh.
That was Brian Steck, followed by John Wisdom.
I don't know if his flaps inadvertently retracted on him or not, but looked like he popped them in, but they came back up. 122 feet on that takeoff. And there goes the original mother of all Cubs.
John Wisdom coming in first out of qualifying, so we'll see what happens today. Here comes the 150-winged Badlands Traveler.
That is a very unique airplane.
Only one place, one man that makes them. Okay, here's Colin Kniva. Here goes Colin Kniva, number 43. Old green plane in his new black plane.
That was a little long, if you ask me. What do you think?
Felt a little longer to him last time. A little bit shorter. Currently in third place with 268 for Colin. Here's Kevin Johnson in the Super Cub. He's in second place currently with 255.
Yep. He revs it up, gets all the power he can out of that before he releases the brakes. And that was a pretty short run there, too.
Looks like also he was turned into the wind a little bit there off the line to try to catch what he can of that crosswind component.
Well, it does look like the wind has shifted a little bit out of the southeast, what little wind we do have, though, so you might be right on that.
Here's Greg Rodriguez in, I'll call it Blue Lightning. I don't know, he's got to have a cool name for that plane, right?
Oh, that was a long run there.
All right, I'm going to try to give Colin a call in the pattern, and let's see if we can hear him at all. This is the announcer stand to Colin. Do you read us?
I got you, Ryan. How's everything going down there?
Going pretty good. I don't know if I'm supposed to tell you your score, but you're looking all right.
Well, I think I'm holding my brakes too long, doggone it. I got them nice and heated up.
Any new strategy for this time around?
Yeah, why don't you guys give me some words of advice here? I'm setting up on my base leg.
Oh, there you go.
Try to go a little nose higher this time and let this suspension go to work.
That sounds like a good plan. I got Mr. Kevin Lacey next to me. I don't know if he has any other words of wisdom for you.
Yeah, I saw Kevin Lacey checking some paperwork with my tail numbers earlier. I don't know what the hell that was all about.
Just making sure.
He says he's just making sure. All right, we'll let you concentrate for the landing. John Wisdom just came in.
And that was a scratch there.
Yeah, Kevin Lacey had an episode where he had to go repo a cub, and he was wondering if he had room to get off with about 3,000 feet. If you're going to overtake number 3, just go around at this time, and we'll get you back on. It's your choice, though.
All right.
All right, here we go. We got a combined Piper Cub and a Cessna 150 right there.
Crosswind back to the downwind, then we'll get you right back in. All right, that's not bothering us too much. I'll come back in. I'll come back around.
Okay, as you probably just heard on the radio, we got stacked up a little too tight there. So Colin had to go around, but you heard what he's going to try to do differently for this time. We'll catch him on the next one. So he's circling. He'll be out of order, but right now we got the Badlands Traveler down at the end. Kevin Johnson then should be on short final to your left.
Oh, look at him dragging this one in. He's. Oh, yeah, that's very close.
We're going to have to go to the.
That was a nice job, though.
Go to the replay here. We'll see what that looked like.
Right at 95 feet on that one. See the replay. See how he did. I think he might have just been over the line. Oh. And understand that was a scratch on that one. Really nice landing. Nice and short. Just about a foot short of the line, though.
Here comes Greg Rodriguez in the MOAC. By the way, I found out like everyone in America is contractually obligated to say MOAC that way. You have to go MOAC.
Oh, well, doggone it. That one didn't quite work out for him. I think the wind is starting to pick up a little bit now, and I think it's coming a little out of the southeast. So this is going to be affecting their judgment now again.
Yeah, continually variable is maybe the hardest thing that could happen to them. Like you mentioned before, obviously every landing's different. Here comes Colin.
Yeah, you can tell he's riding that wind. Fly the wing, son. Fly the wing. Nice.
Nice.
Nicely done. And from here, looks like he got about 150 feet on that landing.
So we're going to get the order correct for everybody there. And we got a pretty impressive freeze frame up on our thing. Couldn't have gotten much closer than that for Colin.
Not. That was really good judgment on that one.
Okay, make sure to wave and cheer for him, everybody. Give him a round of applause. This is your alternate bush experimental class here at Lonestar STOL Husky National STOL competition in Gainesville, Texas. Last event of the year. National standings will be determined today as well. All on the line.
Now, that's a real interesting combination with Piper Cub and a Cessna 150 wings over there. Took some real imagination to do that.
Okay, so some updates from the judges. Kevin Johnson previously called as a scratch. There was an appeal internally, and it was reviewed again, and they're going to let that score stand. So reversing the scratch call. John Wisdom at the line in the MOAC. And that last takeoff for Brian Steck, 96 feet. His first takeoff of the competition today, 88 feet.
Oh, that was a good one.
Yeah,
he's going to be about 96, 98 feet as well.
John's got the fire back in him. Badlands Traveler pulling up to the line. There we go, dumping the flaps.
Yes, I believe he got an impressive takeoff there.
That might be his best one so far. Yes, that's right. So his previous best was 143. He shaved a ton off. Now he's at 109 for takeoff. Getting competitive with the MOACs there.
It's a little difficult to tell from this vantage point because we get a little parallax between the numbers over there. It makes it difficult for us to tell. And here we go again.
There goes Colin.
And he was 100 feet or so.
"81 feet.
My goodness, that was a good one.
Angled into the wind. Here's the man I mistook you for, Kevin Johnson. Off in the Super Cub.
Hey, he's doing a fine job out there. Us Kevins know how to fly.
Greg Rodriguez coming up to the line. And this is let's be his last takeoff. Last takeoff for the entire alternate experimental bush class.
Yeah, he was fairly long on that one.
And if I'm not mistaken, this is Greg's first competition. So it's just him getting used to it. All right, look to your left, folks. We've got MOACs stacked up. We've got Brian Steck in a MOAC. We've got John Wisdom in a Legend Aircraft MOAC. Again, we talked yesterday about how John had the unfair advantage with the gun racks. That the gun racks helped him. The gun cases helped him yesterday. High angle of attack coming in. Little burst of power.
Yes.
Careful on those brakes.
Yes.
Woo.
Yes, that was nice.
Here comes John Wisdom low and to your left. 114-foot landing, by the way, for Brian. Oh, John.
Oh.
Now he's got to deal with the float from that power.
Yep. But he did have enough smash to kill the energy there. Still not a bad landing after that.
leaving it all on the line, so to speak. Our friend Keith Geiger in the Cessna, oh, just kidding, Badlands Traveler with the Cessna 150 wing, stretched.
And that
Super
wind
Cub
is starting
fuselage.
to affect them too today. You can see them now that they're starting to, that in the afternoon thermals.
Pretty perfect on the landing there. It's got to get it stopped. A little bit of brake fade at the end, maybe.
Very well could have been. It looked like it. All right, here comes Colin in the, is that another MOAC?
That's I think he's flying a Carbon Cub.
Oh, there you go. Nicely done.
And he's off to the left. You heard him when he was talking to us on the radio. He was like, man, I got to cool my brakes down. Probably seeing that a little bit towards the end here. And last but not least, no, two left. I misread that. Kevin Johnson now doing his best helicopter impression off to the left there. Kevin's currently in third place with 2:27. Colin, second place, 2:15, turning it up from yesterday. Brian Steck holding it down, 2:10. And first place from the qualifiers, John Wisdom down in fourth, 2:85. See if this landing changes any of those standings.
Well, I don't know, but I tell you, the last couple of landings, they have kind of weather vaded into the wind out of the southeast there. I saw those line judges stepping and fetching. I saw one airplane coming towards them.
Yeah, get ready to jump.
Yes.
And Greg Rodriguez on final approach, higher this time. You can see with the blinking wig-wag lights going.
Come on, hang in there, hang in there. Oh, that's going to be a close one.
That the tail wheel can touch before the line, but the mains were close. I agree. I'm not exactly sure where it was. We'll watch the replay here.
Oh,
hard to tell on our end.
It's hard to tell on that end.
We're just waiting here, watching this replay monitor, waiting to see what happens.
Oh, we missed it.
And I missed it. I missed it.
I was looking up. They called it a scratch. Well, sorry to Greg.
Calling it a scratch.
Last one was a scratch.
Okay, well, there you go. That's alternate bush experimental class complete at the Lonestar STOL Finals, Husky National STOL Series. And the unofficial results have Brian Steck, 2:10. Colin Kniva, only 5 feet longer, 2:15. Kevin Johnson, 2:27. Not a lot of room between those three competitors, those top three places. John Wisdom, 285. Mr. Geiger, 5th place, 338. And Greg Rodriguez, 710 to round out the class.
Isn't bad for a first-timer out here at this, you know, just showed up late to the party.
Not bad at all.
So it does take a while.
Oh, look at that. It's us. It's us. Sure. Yeah, we're getting some technical stuff figured out right now, but there we go. Alternate bush. You're on. Say hi to everybody at home. There we go.
Yeah, a few technical difficulties going on here.
So, Kevin, anything to take away from what you just saw? Anything that any reactions to this? I know you've flown probably a million airplanes by now. I don't know if you do a lot of bush flying.
I
or
haven't flown that many, but not quite a million. But
Not quite a million?
Quite
Okay.
a few, yes. Well, I'm sorry I didn't make it out yesterday. I wanted to see the competition, or earlier today, I wanted to see the Helio Courier fly, just because I rode in one when I was a kid. And it was real fun to be banking and yanking that airplane around, hearing the slats fall out and come back in as the airplane was maneuvering around. And it was really interesting to watch. So, but anyway, it's really great to be out here today watching these guys risk life and limb in an airplane to come out here and compete with each other and see who could do it the best.
And now we're getting ready to amp it up even more now with Light Sport Experimental. And we're going to, I don't know if we're saying goodbye or not, but I'll shake your hand now just in case.
Oh, okay.
So great to share the mic with you today.
Oh, yes.
And what an honor. And again, we'll see all of you soon. We're going to cut to break real quick, and we'll be right back with more STOL action.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
Yeah, I got that right turn. We're good.
Let's meet up at the compound group up.
That's 10-4.
Yeah, for sure, dog.
Good little driver, straight on through.
Okay, and we are back here in Gainesville, Texas. You've heard me say it a number of times. Husky National STOL Series, Lonestar STOL, last competition of the year. I got to talk about a bunch of our sponsors before we talk about where things are at coming into light sport, light experimental class. First, we got to say a big thank you to Gainesville Municipal Airport hosting us today. They serve the needs of North Texas, and whether you're looking for a quick turn on fuel or a place to spend the night or an area to locate your business, check out Gainesville Municipal Airport to meet your needs. We also need to talk about Life Aviation. Life Aviation is a proud sponsor of the National STOL competition. We're a new shop located in Dallas Executive Airport, and are here for all your general aviation maintenance needs, ranging from annual inspections to major repairs. If you need repairs in the Dallas area, be sure to check out Life Aviation. That's L-Y-F-E Aviation. And last but certainly not least, let's talk about McFarland Aviation, providing some prize packages for our competitors. McFarland Aviation is committed to safety, quality, and value. McFarland Aviation specializes in providing affordable and high-quality FAA PMA components, and that includes door and flight control cables, push-pull controls, cargo and seat rails, so many other unique products for the broader aerospace community. No matter what you purchase from McFarland, you can rest assured that you are getting the highest quality product at the lowest price. Let's talk about the lineup for light experimental light sport. Brent Womack in the Happy Dog. It's just a happy dog in the Rance S20. Come on, you've seen that meme, that TikTok video. Next up, Chris Miller in another Cub Crafter Cub. Behind him, the one I'm secretly rooting for, Cody Morris in the 1990 Rans S6. Steve Henry behind him is probably who you've heard of before in the Wild West Highlander. Make sure you plug your ears for that one. That's a lot of horsepower. Behind him, in a Storch, Levi Nogus, also a great guitar player we found out last night. And Cale Burks in the Legend Cub AL3. It's a J3 homage aircraft, bringing up the rear of the category. And they're getting ready to take the line now. This Rands S20. If I'm not mistaken, Rands, an experimental kit aircraft company out of Hays, Kansas. There goes Brent Womack. Chris Miller coming up to the line now. In November 6'3", Papa Golf. That last takeoff for Brent Womack and the Happy Dog S20, 197 feet. Here comes Chris Miller off the line, tail down. He's off the ground as well. Here comes that S6. Built in 1990. Love that blue kind of vintage scheme on it. Digging that tail in deep, nursing it off. A little bad on the timing there. Couldn't get the mains off, but he's on his way. All right, folks, plug your ears for this one. It's going to be loud. Steve Henry, race 44.
Now, folks, you won't find any more competitive-natured human being than Steve Henry.
Whoa!
There he goes. Whether he's in that plane that he's built, that's the 6-1 he's built, that's a turbocharged Yamaha Apex engine pumping out about 330 horsepower, twin turbo. When he's not racing that, it doesn't matter if you put him in a go-kart, a skateboard, a one-wheel, he wants to race.
You want to guess how short that was?
I did not see it. I'm going to say 27 feet.
56 feet.
56 feet?
But close enough. Off. Here's the Storch with Levi. Got to get it off. There he goes.
You know, that Storch just looks like it keeps stretching his legs, trying to touch the ground. It doesn't want to lift its feet. Get
yeah, he says
long legs up. Long legs, Luann. Let's get him off the ground. It did.
Kevin said over our shoulder, looks like he was stuck to the ground. I talked to Levi about that last night. He said, actually, yeah, he'll feel the plane flying much longer before the tires come off the ground.
Here's the healthiest named human being in the competition. His name is Cale Burks. Now, I'm not much of a kale eater, but the young man is a healthy dude. And, you know, one of the guys we had up here, Cody Morris, he's from Kansas, too, and that kid just flies the wheels off of that plane around the Wilson Lake area. I saw him water ski that. He water skied a tricycle gear airplane into a landing onto a sandbar. Just a talented young pilot. He's building another airplane right now that he said he's going to show up next year and whoop the pants out of some guys. So we'll see what happens here. But we got, looks like we have Brent coming in already in his S20 Raven. He's a local guy, Shady Shores, Texas. Yesterday I said I didn't believe there was such a thing as shade in Texas, but he said there was.
Whoa.
Get on it.
Got it
Get
over
on
the line. Oh. Woo. got a little energized in that one, and a go-around is in order
nice
for Papa
call.
Golf.
Nice call, Mr. Chris Miller, flying that beautiful silver and burgundy Carbon Cub. Chris by day is a corn and wheat farmer down here in Texas, and he was complaining last night, not one bit about the flying. What he was complaining about is he said with modern technology, the computer systems are going to take over harvesting his corn and wheat. He said, then I won't have a reason to leave the house. All right, so we're going to change things around. We're going to have Cody coming in here with this Rands. Get it up, Cody. Nice run, nice run. So, Ryan, did you get a chance to get some food in? I know you're eating your lunch, you're announcing. I had fun talking to you on the radio. Unfortunately, I cut my pattern a little too short, but I got to tell you, brother, it's nice. If you don't think these pilots are working in these cockpits, I was sweating.
No, really great job. And here's Steve Henry coming in.
Now watch how he hangs this thing off the prop. He's got full flaps, aiming that thing in the air. He'll cut the power and just drop it in. Look at him locking those brakes up.
Just sliding on those tires.
That engine's so light, and those gear are so far forward that he can just lock those puppies up. He has his feet on the brakes when he's touching down.
I think some of the other aircraft would be an ill-advised maneuver, but Steve built that plane to his specifications and is one heck of a pilot.
Like I said, his daughter's running around here. Sarah, she's got a fluorescent green vest, a big old camera, and a blue hat. That girl, and she's competitive. We were in Reno, and she got in a golf cart or a go-kart with her own helmet, her own gloves, and she proceeded to whoop the heck out of every pilot out there. The Henry family is just competitive. Motocross, street race car racing, dirt bike, you name it, they're competing. All right, here we come with Levi, the man with the nicest mustache in the competition.
No kidding on that. Everyone, check out this guy's mustache. It's the best.
It is legendary.
Literally the best mustache ever made,
Look
ever
at those
grown.
legs just stretched down. He grabs those brakes. Get on it, Levi.
Wow, I like the way that thing squats down as it takes the load of the plane. Also, we were talking about John Wisdom. Yesterday, you brought this up. John Wisdom has the gun cases on his MOAC. That helps him a lot. Levi has the little bomb thing underneath. You thought it might be a fuel tank. I went and checked it out last night. It is. It is a fuel tank, an auxiliary.
Oh, I thought it was I thought he told me it was an atomic bomb. All right, here he is with this J3 Piper Cub. Nice run. He has no flaps, guys. Landing that thing.
Without
like
flaps, the only way you can really handle it is to slip it good. And last but not least, because of the go-around, we've got Chris Miller coming back in 6'3" Papa Golf. Hear that stall warning horn going off?
Oh!
I'm gonna guess that was a scratch. It was close.
Nice landing, Chris. Nice controlled landing. You know, the thing about this sport is the more landings you do, as you saw in my last one, I had a little brake fade on the left, and that's why when I'm taxiing, I usually try to get those brakes a little warmed up, so once I'm in the air, they get to a right temperature and I can get them stopped. Okay, and the word just came from the eye in the sky. Believe it or not, we have someone way above us, sits just under God Almighty. His name's Tom Flannery, and he's in our ears telling us who scratches and who doesn't. And Chris scratched. Let's give these guys a round of applause. Look at these beautiful planes.
He's just a
going by.
Happy dog.
Look at my buddy Cody in that blue Rands bouncing around. Chris's beautiful carbon Cub. Guys, these are some aviators. That young man right there, all the way from Kansas, flies the snot out of that plane. Get it up, Steve.
Here comes Levi and that Storch German. This is a 3/4 scale version of the German observation plane, World War II observation plane.
I got to tell you, that plane's so ugly, it's cute.
I like planes that don't look classically pretty. Let's call it that.
There's that beautiful J3 Cub, the iconic Cub.
Okay.
All right, Brent, get that thing in the air. I tell you, with these warm temperatures, high density altitude, you can notice these numbers are just a little higher than they were yesterday. But that little southeast breeze is really helping us out.
It's also helping me out in the booth because, kind of toasty today. Is that how it normally is in Texas? I thought it was usually cold in Texas, right?
Come on, Chris. Well, we're on the topic of helping out. Man, you just got to be helped out by a legend, Kevin Lacey. How cool is that?
That was pretty intense. I feel bad because I was misinformed. I got confused, called him Kevin Johnson at first, but he was very gracious about it. So I'll always remember it as the time I introduced Kevin Lacey as Kevin Johnson, and very embarrassed by that. But no, such a legendary aviator to have sharing the booth with. Super, super cool. There goes Cody.
Gets her off the ground short.
Oh, nice. That was a short one.
You know, I was talking to Kevin, and I'll tell you what, he's got 5 kids down here that he works with and mentors, school kids, high school age and middle school age, and he helps them build airplanes. And they flew a plane that they built up here. How cool is that? What do you got in there, Steve? He's pumping the brakes. He's got his hands on his throttle. He's got his game face on. Wind those puppies up. Let those horses roll. I'm going to call 44 feet.
Okay, here's Levi now. Maybe no surprise. Steve Henry is in first place with 150 feet. Levi currently in second, 306. Just heard that last takeoff for Steve was 41 feet.
Oh,
Levi,
my gosh, I was 3 feet off.
Working to get it off the ground there. Brent Womack currently third place, 357. Mr. Morris, 377. And Kale in fifth place with 547 feet combined.
Come on, Mr. Kale. Show us what that old boy can do. Now, Ryan, I heard you talking about Life Aviation a little bit ago. I got a chance to meet with those guys. Talk about a cool couple dudes. Started that business from scratch, building it grassroots, doing it the right way, the honest way. I tell you what, I love to see companies like that. And, man, what a fun group to chat with. They came over to the airplane asking me questions, and I felt like, what are you asking me questions? I should be asking you guys questions. Talk about a knowledgeable couple guys. If you guys get a chance, visit with our friends at Life Aviation.
Here comes the happy dog. Rans S20.
Drops it in. Oh.
They're double checking that in the booth. Currently third place for Brent, 357 feet. We'll see if that last landing will not change the standings for him. That was a scratch. So on to another attempt. Here comes Chris Miller. Had to give it a little power, but he's going to pay for that on the acceleration. Previously scratched, though, so he should be on the board now, which is great. Low and to your left. Cody Morris in the S6. That looks good. Love how he just kills the engine, stops the prop to try to slow it down.
Well, it's like one of those new cars. He puts on the brake, his engine shuts off, and then when the green light turns, he gives it gas and it starts back up. I forgot to ask him about that last night.
221 for him on that landing. Steve Henry.
All right, so this is Steve's second landing. It's funny when you watch Steve walk around the crowd, everybody says, oh, that's the guy. That's that guy. Locks those brakes up, slides her into home. He's safe.
$120, 120 on the landing for Steve Henry. Levi, high to your left on final.
Ryan, you put that arm up like you're harking to the angels. Come on in, Angel Levi, with your
angelic mustache.
With your angelic mustache.
He's got a good mustache. No lie. So Levi's got a lot of ground to cover. He wants to try to catch Steve Henry. He's got about 150 feet he needs to shave off. That's maybe a tall ask.
Mm-hmm.
Here comes Levi.
Oh,
just
nice
over
landing,
the line.
Levi.
Getting it stopped. Levi was telling me last night that he's only had the plane about a month, bought it about a month ago.
Yeah.
So he's still learning it. So I can't wait to see what he does with it next as he gets more and more in tune with the aircraft.
Mm-hmm.
Usually you see him out here in a older model Kit Fox just kind of tearing it up.
And if you get a chance to shake Levi's hand and talk to him, salt of the earth, great man to talk to. Be ready to hear some great stories.
Kale holding it off.
Come on, Kale. Nice, safe landing.
Love the Legend AL3 Cub there. I'd love to see us do just a whole class of just a J3 class. Could be like our Formula One. I'll go talk to Doug and Tom about that in the off season. Tom says it's approved in my ear right now, so it's a guarantee that it's going to happen now.
All right. Give him a big round of applause. Pump your fists. We got one more round for you folks. And again, after this, walk around, meet the pilots, shake some hands. There's some really cool people running around here. Kevin Lacey from Airplane Repo. We got Brian Turner from Just Plain Silly running around here, the funniest man in YouTube creators.
Yeah, he's over there talking to Eric Johnston, another big-time creator. It's like a creator fest over there.
He's like the creator of the creators, Eric Johnson is.
We're talking about him. They're not even paying attention.
Follow Steve Henry on YouTube. His daughter and he work really hard to put out great content. He's got a video of him. He took off from the side of a hill with no engine, just coasting down. Used momentum to get off that edge. I don't know how he fits his man parts in his jeans, some of the flying he does. Look at that mustache on Levi. What a great dude, great plane. All right, Brent, climb that thing off. Make this one count, buddy.
So Brent's currently in third place by about 50 feet. That last takeoff was 178 feet. So he could feasibly catch up to Levi with an aggressive landing. There goes Chris Miller, currently 6th place. Cody Morris, 4th place. 146 for Chris Miller on that takeoff. Now, I want to talk about this. There's only 5 feet between Brent Womack and Cody Morris. So we could see an upset for 3rd place. That's very tight. Here comes Steve Henry. Plug your ears. Got to get some hardcore horsepower going on here. Over 300 of them, I think. It's a lot of horses to cram in that small engine.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just what you expect from Steve Henry now. Takeoffs like that.
You know, about 3 hours from now, he'll have those wings folded up, pushed back into his trailer, and ready for the next competition. Then he'll start wrenching on it, finding out what he did right, what he did wrong, making adjustments. He's always working.
Just want to point out, too, we're basically back to a nil wind condition. not a STOL pilot's favorite. Here's Levi off.
Get those legs off the ground. And ladies and gentlemen, if you do have kids with you, feel free to stop by. I do have some posters free of charge. They can get them, hang them in their rooms, use them to start fires, whatever you need.
Starting fires. I could use a little bit for the campfire tonight.
Yeah. Looking forward to that sun going down and cooling us down.
There goes Cale in the AL3 Legend Cub. And by the way, we were talking a little bit while you were in the air about Old Green Plain, but I wanted to give you a chance to talk about it real quick before Brent comes in to defend third place. If you want to give us a little, I was saying you travel over the country in an Old Green Plane as opposed to a new black plane.
Yeah, man. So it was my dad's original. He bought it brand new out of Wichita. It's a 1960 Cessna 182 Model D. He sold it in 1977. I grew up hearing about how he wished he would have never sold that plane, and if we could ever find it again. Well, he passed away, and 3 years after he passed away, I found it, bought it, refurbished it, and now we travel the country and hear cool stories and see cool destinations and watch men like this get that plane down, stop. There it is, crowd. He wanted to turn and salute you and thank you for coming out.
A little bit of a uncommanded turn to the right there. In that situation, we measure from the tire that's furthest away from the line. Chris Miller in the Cub Crafters Carbon Cub with a scratch.
Well, now he scratched, but he bounced over the line and then touched down again. So, you know, I don't know.
Still doesn't count. Yeah, still.
It's late in the day. It's getting warm. Maybe
Feeling
we
like
could bend
very
the rules
generous
for a nice guy like him.
You're feeling
one of the
very
nicest
generous.
guys in the sport. All right,
Okay.
Cody, hold that thing up. Wind picked up.
He did. He held it, but now he's got to pay for it on the back end, trying to get it stopped. Turns the motor off. Love that.
That is so cool.
I don't believe that's going to be enough. I'm just guesstimating here. I don't believe that's going to be enough to put him on the board above Brent. Brent shortened his distance considerably, down to 339. Morris's best combined score so far was 362. Here comes Steve Henry.
He's got his helmet strapped up. He's got that game face on. He's got his hand on the throttle. Look at him work that thing. And drop it.
Drop it like it's hot. So just heard that Cody's score was not better than his previous best, so that will probably lock him into fourth place. Steve Henry just updated his score. Now his combined distance is a stunning 137 feet combined. By the way, if you don't watch Steve's YouTube stuff, you got to check it out. I think what we were talking yesterday, Colin, is like he's got on a really windy day, he got it off in less than 10 feet.
Yeah, I think it was 7.6 feet.
With the brakes locked. Here comes Levi, pretty comfortably in second place right now. A lot of ground to cover to try to catch up with Steve.
All right, Levi, stretch those legs down and let him hit. Perfect. Nice work.
Pretty much, sorry to interrupt, pretty much textbook there by Levi. I did hear in our ear, I think you heard it too, Levi's takeoff was longer than Steve's combined score. So no real way to catch up there. And if you're watching these replays with me, Colin, like Levi is so textbook, mains down, tail landing before the line.
Speaking of textbook landing, look at him land that J3. No flaps, comes in, touches down like he's kissing his sister. I don't even know if he has one.
I don't know what that means. But
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as we come to a close on this, we're going to roll into our awards ceremony, but can't tell you what a pleasure it's been to hang out with you guys on this warm, little bit breezy Texas day. Stop by and see me, grab a poster or two. Come meet the pilots, see the airplanes, shake the hands.
Shake the hands,
You're very,
bump the fists.
very welcome.
Here's Steve Henry coming up. Make sure to cheer for him, folks. This
Big
is
round
your
of applause.
light sport, light experimental class for Husky National STOL. Yeah, there he is, Steve Henry.
Listen to those horses.
I love the turbocharger whine on that one, too. So it has been, what an amazing weekend for us here at the Husky National STOL competition here at Lonestar STOL. Super honored to be a part of it and to come join all of you and meet all of you down here in Texas. Really appreciate all the hospitality. Folks, we can't thank you enough for letting us be a part of your aviation community down here. I'm Ryan Dombrowski from Super Aero. Colin
Kniva from Old Green Plain. We just had a blast, and we can't wait to see you at the next event.
So make sure to go, speaking of the next event, make sure to go to nationalstol.com to stay tuned for the next events coming up for National STOL in the United States. And we just, again, can't thank you enough. Appreciate so much all the hospitality. Thanks for coming out today, and we'll see you soon. National STOL.
Get it.
Go get it. Land it short. Land it short.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
Yeah, I got that right turn. We're good.
Meet up at the compound group up.
That's 10-4.
Yeah, for sure, dog.
Good little driver, straight on through.
Nothing yet.
When it's time to recover and paint your fabric-covered aircraft, look no further than AirTech Coatings. Since 1982, our FAA-approved system provides you with a shiny, durable, easy-to-apply product. The AirTech system has fewer steps than any other product on the market today, saving you both time and money. While using cutting-edge technology, we offer a wide range of products. Whether it's for work, play, antique, or aerobatic, we have you covered. Remember, we make paint fly.